Come on in the room. What's up, y'all? Hey, everybody here in this beautiful land. What's up, black brothers and sisters, everybody across the world? This is your host, Wiley, where we're going to get into everybody's business, including mine. All right? So we are here. All right? We are here, and I appreciate that the people that are here. So we see people that is here. Shout out to our new member, Crystal Light, joining us. Hi, Jackie, joining us. Hi. Hi, Aaliyah TV. Hi. Thank you so very much for that way. Thank you for showing love. And hi. You need to call in so I can pronounce your name right. Hi. What's up? Who else did not get it? I see Danielle. Hi. Welcome. Who else is in here showing love? Hi. If you know, that's one of the perks where you get to have it. Hi, Nate. 702 in the house. Welcome. So we got into some things out here on our number. I think we're number one, Paul, on Station Head. I think we're number one. I got a beautiful message from Station Head that they're trying to negotiate us a deal to stay over there exclusively. Like, I don't know. We will see if the numbers are right, but I think we're number one. All right. Yes. I'm number one. I think we're number one on Station Head. We are number one on Station Head. Okay. Number one. So I'm excited. Some on my lip, but it's okay. I had a breakout. A little breakout, allergic reaction, but we here. Okay. So we had a good time over there on Station Head. I mean, Station Head is a show that we produce where we produce Hi Your Next X. We produce a show where it's like a WWE type of program. So we have major storylines over there on Station Head. We are cussing, we're out. It was it's dope. I mean, you have a lot of women. If you want to see black women not get along, join the Station Head. I mean, it's excellent. I mean, amazing commentary over there on Station Head. I got over there and I was like, what? Here we go. Now your next ex, put on the shirt. You got that. You trying to show your body. All right. So, but yeah, it's that's what it is. Where it is a show that people you can come and just let it all out over there on the streets. You know what I'm saying? So that's exactly what was done. And so then a lot of people are saying I need to let go people. I don't let go nobody until I make the decision that they can be let go. Okay. All right. I don't do that. I don't let go people because you want me to let them go. I don't do that at all. Okay. So when people say, let go this person, let go that, no, I'm not. You better let go and let God. All right. But I control this. I can't tell you none of that. I told this one chick what she should do for her mother. For her children. And she said, mind your business. These ain't your kids, you be. And mind my business. I said, oh, no more advice on that. So I said, I want to create my own entity. And I created my own baby, and it's called The Wiley Show. So I'm the father. I'm the big daddy over here, meaning I make the rules. Amen. That's the power of entrepreneur, where you make the rules. That's the power of working for yourself. So when people were emailing me to get rid of people, I said no, because they didn't do anything wrong. And I make the decision. Okay. All right. I make the decision. I make the final decision. And on Shay, you can cuss. It's an unfiltered platform. And we are knocking our competition out. I mean, today we did more numbers than Armon Wiggins, and he have over 10,000 followers, right? We only have 1,000. We knocked him out of the park today. We beat him in the ratings really bad. really bad. He tried to do 2 hours programming today, and we blew him out of the park with our ratings. And thank you to my good team that come from the wrestling world, and we think of creative storylines to deliver great prerogative content, and we did it. It was such a great thing today. I mean, multiple shows. I mean, it's so good that people don't want to leave. We're averaging 70 plus 80 people that's in the room talking, and I'm not even talking. I ended the show, but they're still communicating. That is the power of our programming. It is so dope. Your fave don't have that. We do. And so we definitely did that as well. And we have completely just beat Riley in the ratings on Station Head. And that's because of you, the viewer. You all made it possible for tuning in, for calling into the show, for getting, you know what I'm saying, and sending in text messages and emails and showing up. I love it. It was so extremely dope for y'all taking time out of your schedule to do it, because you didn't have to do it. And when I got the email, I'm like, wow, that's dope. Though from Station congratulating us having the number one programming. So so when I did it, I said, this is great. This is a great programming. It's really, really great. And when you go on different platforms, you be different. I mean, I'm not the same Wiley on YouTube that I am on Station. Yeah, I'm the same Wiley, but I'm more spicy, because you can't be as spicy on YouTube, but you can be spicy on another platform. They love that unfiltered stuff. Just same way as people like Bingo. You remember Bingo? Bingo is an app where people are unfiltered. You know about Bingo, your next ex. You know what I'm saying? Bingo is unfiltered, where they drag, 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 and drag. Now, all the people on Bingo don't do that. But the most lucrative shows is the dragging shows, correct? Mm-hmm. Most lucrative shows on Bingo is the dragging shows. That is what it is. That's most of, you know what I'm saying? That's most of the shows is the dragging shows. Understand what I'm saying? That is literally most of the shows is when people get on the platform, they use spicy language. That is the show. And when they do that, that got everybody in the bunch covering this. And when they do that, that's when the people tune in. So when I got people to tune in, I said, oh, this is great. And so a lot of people that follow my channel, they supposed to be saved. They only watch when it's drama. When it's drama, they are watching. Okay. Your next ex said, I went to Bingo, and I'm still in counseling. Like, it's drama base, extreme drama base. And that is what it is. It's complete like drama. And when the drama is into place, that's when you get everybody to comment, because it's drama. I'm gonna say it again. Drama is a very thing that major networks have capitalized on it, and they built billion-dollar industries because of drama. You understand what I'm saying? Let's break it down. Because of drama, they made million-dollar industries because of drama. And so having that drama, it brings the people. It brings eyeballs and ears. And the reason why we have a lot of people is because of the drama. Many people would not be tuning into WWE if it wasn't for drama, storyline, drama, UFC, drama, entertainment, Zeus averages, and Paul, we ran the numbers, they averages about $5 to $6 million a month. That is what they average because of drama. They're not tuning in because of a Christian or because of a Christian show and because of a show that you're talking about God and Bishop T.D. Jakes. No, it's women pulling their hair. Women talk about the odor of their yoni. Okay. LGBT folks rolling in the grass because of drama. And so I will never forget the CEO of Zeus had a conversation with fucking Aniva. He said these words. He said, "You're not a boss. My audience, they love loud content. They love loud content." And fucking Aniva decided to say these words that, let's be clear. He said, "Oh, it's bad. It's bad for Black America." And clearly, the guy from the CEO of Zeus said, "Bruh, you're not a boss. You're not an owner. So how would you know? This is how networks are run." And so when he had that, I said, "This is it." And then he tried to come out there, and say that this is bad. But then when you look at fucking Aniva character, all he do is trash Black women. Drama. You know, understand what I'm saying? It was so bad from fucking Aniva that he was degrading and talking about Beyonce's baby, Blue Ivy, right? Drama. And people always say, "Oh, fucking Aniva's so successful because he put on a wig. He imitated Black women, particularly ghetto Black women, and he used it to build a platform." And once everybody just wanted him to see the wig, they wanted him as a character. He was upset. He said, "Wait a minute. I'm more than a man in a beard and a wig. I want to take this wig off." And then when he take it off, he was getting his lowest views. It took him a while to build up a platform without the wig, but his views were higher with the wig. Do you understand what I'm saying? The views were so higher with the wig than when he as a man, because people like a character. That's why people in Hollywood, they always say, "Wiley, put on a dress. Wiley, put on some lipstick. Wiley, put on the pink panties." Because if you put this on as a cockeyed, tall chocolate man, this is going to be funny. It's going to be entertaining. So putting on a wig is automatically entertainment because people like to look at people that is entertaining. We tune into Medea, and Medea, Tyler Perry birthed and made billions, became a billionaire because he duplicated an elderly Black woman. He duplicated that and he made billions of dollars. His business centered around Medea. And no matter how many times he tried to get rid of her, he always go back to her. Why? Not because he loved her, but because it brings him a guaranteed bag. When he would, "Hello, this is Medea," it brings a guaranteed bag. And the people that view him are holy people, church people, supposed to be Holy Ghost filled people. And they're watching a man in a wig talking about the word of God. And he made his living off of that. And so every time I would put on Tyler Perry, my granny would be like, turn that off. He playing church. I don't like that. Right? But then when I was in church under Bishop Cartwright, under his leadership, the True Church of Holiness, located 57 Indiana, they would talk about Tyler Perry and Medea and about the shows and everything. He would watch. My uncle, Bishop Melvin Cartwright, would watch Medea with the wig. And most of the church people watch Medea, a man, with a wig, with chest meat, with a women's bread basket, and they made him a billionaire. Right? And so when I saw it, I said, wow. And so and I don't believe I know a lot of my colleagues will say, Wiley, are you going to sell your soul? It's not selling a soul. I'm selling a product with putting on a wig. That's not selling a soul. Because you've been taught that men can't wear wigs, that men can't wear women clothing. There was a time where it was no such thing as jeans, as pants. Pants wasn't really created into the 1800s. So what was the people wearing then? So this whole thing, skirts, pants, bras, it was a time that it wasn't always bras. It wasn't invented yet. It was a time that they didn't have man jeans, a women area, dresses. It was a time that didn't exist. If you research your history and understand that with all this stuff, I just want to be clear with you all here. Because the first recorded reports of trousers were made by the 16th century BC. Okay? So the 16th century before Christ, what were the people wearing in the 15th century, the 14th century, the 13th century, the 12th century, the 11th century, the 10th century, right? So when people say don't put on women clothing, that wasn't even brought to the forefront until 17, 18, 19, 20th century. But what was the people wearing before the 16th century, before Christ? You understand what I'm saying? So when we have this conversation, when you educate yourself, and this is not me, oh, Wiley sounds smart. Did he go to college and get master's degree? No, I went to the school of Google, Google, where I have a PhD in my fingers to type and talk. All right. We are in a society today that you do not need to go to college to educate yourself, because you can sit hours upon hours and look in your phone and get all the knowledge that sister so-and-so is getting from college and brother so-and-so is getting from college. Do you understand? So all you got to do is utilize technology. You are only stupid if you didn't do your research, because we are living in a 2023 year, meaning if you just walking around dumb, you doing it by your own part, because it's nowhere in the world that you don't know certain things when you have Google in your pocket, when you have a Yahoo in your pocket, when you have YouTube at your fingertips. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay. So, product, stop it. You keep that over there on station here. So, and that's what we saying over here. So, when we have these conversations, and I Google about the orgasm, and I understand that the sister that I was intimate with, when she did not reach an orgasm, because I came within 4 minutes with this beautiful person I was having a good time with, she came in a minute. And so what did I do? I said, well, let me do my research. And when I look at the surveys, when they surveyed women, a percentage of women, and it was high, that some of them even said to the surveyors that they never experienced an orgasm in their lifetime. What does that mean? That means every time a man come on top of you, he releases and you never releases. And that's why you got some women bitter. That's why they got attitudes. That's why they frustrated, because they never was able to release at all. And some women have to live in secret, got to go to them dark rooms, get on their phones, get on their computer, go get that rose locked up in that closet up there in the corner or stashed somewhere under that mattress. And when that man is, you go reach down and you get that rose, and your children think it's a vacuum cleaner, and it's not a vacuum cleaner because they said, why is mama moaning? And, you know what I mean? So that's what they do. You understand what I'm saying? And then if you want to know how to please a woman, yes, you can talk to a woman. Yes. You can study the woman's body. Yes. But it's knowledge and books and videos that will give you skills. And you could be like me, talk to people in the hood or talk to guys that what I call the tongue master. And what is the tongue master? The tongue master know every crevice, every crack of the woman's body. They know how to master the woman's yoni. One particular guy, I'm going to call him Body Armor. So Body Armor is a guy that's in the hood, never had a job, very attractive, broke. He will always have women fighting over it, going crazy over him, whatever. And I said, why do you keep getting women? Because he said, I know how to make her come. And I know what that means. I said, come as you are. No, he said, C-U-M. I said, oh. He said, I know how to master. I have a master between my legs. And I know she's going to be mad. She's going to be angry, but she's going to always come back home. And she's going to always pay my bills because I know how to provide in that area because she is pematized. I didn't know what that was. I said, really? What is pematized? I didn't know what that was. And so one particular day I was on my way to his house. We played video games and we played football across the street from my granny's house at the time. And so he said, give me about 20 minutes. And he played music and I smelled the Black and Miles, and he was screwing her over and over and over. Not only her, but her sister. And they did this threesome. And it was everything goes over and over and over and over and over. And I smelled the stench of the smell. And it was a beautiful smell because it was mixed with body odor, yoni smell, and Black and Miles. Beautiful combination. And so I'm hearing this. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow. And I was a church kid. I was a really church kid. I'm a church kid. I didn't really understand about love making because I was always taught under Bishop Melvin Cartwright that you cannot have any type of that behavior unless you're married. So at that time, I was a virgin. I was in the church. So I have always said, well, I can't wait. And I remember I would go and pray. I said, I can't wait to get married so I can do this, so I can feel really good. I want to do it. I want to get married. So I remember I had a friend, I'm going to call her Sister Microphone. And I went to her. I said, can we get married so we can make love? And she laughed because I didn't understand that, because the way that the church would teach you, I remember one time Bishop Cairo was teaching and he said, you're in order to, you got that heat where you hot like an oven. In order to contain that heat like oven, you need to get married, right? So I didn't understand. So I said, I don't want to have heat like an oven, like burn up. I want to get it in. So I just started because he said, if you get married, then you can do these things. That's what Sister Microphone. So I went to Sister Microphone and I said, well, let's get it in. Let's get married so we can make love. Because I've always thought at that time that because of what Bishop Cartwright taught me, and because in the scripture, it said adultery is wrong. It said fornication is wrong. So I wanted to get married and get on one knee and go put the candle in the corner and put on a nice gospel record, and she have on her nice skirt and nice women garments, and I take it off and we make love to Shirley Caesar. That's what I thought it was, right? And so I'm saying it humbly from the heart because that's what I thought it was. I thought it was that way. And so when I was a backslider, what is a backslider? A backslider is a person that's in the church, leave God, and go join the devil. I backslided, never left the physical building at that time. So it was a sister, I'm going to call her Sister Book. So Sister Book and I were members of the True Church of Holiness. We were both members. She was much older. She was about 28, 29. I was about 18, 19 years old. And she was a little touch, to say it politely. And she was in college. And at that time, I was in college and I was getting good grades or whatever. And she really didn't know too much about schoolwork. But, you know, she was experienced. She had a child. She was experienced in the bedroom. And so I didn't know I was attracted to her because out of all the women, because none of them paid me no mind, they all thought I was ugly. You know, the women that was in my age group, they didn't never give me no play. My friend, Brother Sherman, he got all the women. He had women fighting on men in church, right? They never played me no mind. He tried to hook me up and they would say he ugly, his eye, he's disgusting, he looked weird, he walked with a limp. They talk about me bad. So Sister Book was the only one that paid me any mind. We developed a conversation. We talked, and when Bishop Cartwright knew that we were helping each other out, that he knew I liked her, she liked me, he said, I think you should marry Sister Book. That's what Bishop Cartwright told me. I wasn't interested in marrying, and why? Because she was a little touch, right? She will have full-fledged conversations with my baby sister, who was under the age of 18, and she would tell her things about her body, her personal life, and who she's screwing. She would tell my sister all these things, right? So I never wanted to do it, like marry her, but I wanted to screw. I wanted everybody in the church that grew up under me, Jerry, Rashonda, Michelle, Sam, Sharman, they all was getting it in. And I was the only one that did not get no yoni. Okay, so I wanted to try it, and they kept saying how good it was, how they released themselves. So I was curious. I could not stop thinking about the chest meat in the yoni. When Bishop Cartwright was teaching and preaching, all I can think about is yoni, 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 yoni. I try not to think about yoni, but yoni, yoni, yoni. Because I had the conversation with Sharman, Jerry, and Sam, and Michelle, and Rashonda, and Monica. They all telling me all of this experience thing, and I was the only one that did not get a taste of the yoni. So, Sister Book, almost said her name, but if I did, her name is Patrice. She grown now, so we can say her name. You ain't gonna bet the fact that none of these people follow me on Facebook. So, Sister Patrice and I, we connected in the class. We connected because I was helping her with her schoolwork. She lived at the time. She lived next door to the True Church in this building, and then we was connecting. I knew we had a connection, but I didn't know how to make the first move. I'm inexperienced. I'm a virgin, right? I was a virgin. So she moved, and we was going to library helping. She moved to a different apartment. I said, okay. So I kept going. And then one particular time we were listening to gospel music. And while we were listening to gospel music, she didn't have on any undergarments at that time. And so she was breathing, like a certain type of breathing thing. I was looking at her, and she made, the first move. And I told her, I don't know what to do. I'm nervous. And I said, we're going to burn in hell. And she said these words to me. She said, we're not going to burn we're going to yearn in love. Like, we're going to make love. So this cannot be wrong. It feels good. Did you ever try before? I said, no, ma'am. She said, you don't have to call me a ma'am. I said, okay, call me baby. So I said, okay, baby. So we did it. And you know, with Suge Avery, when she could, when Seeley kissed Suge Avery, that's how I did. I was like, I got all giggly. I was so nervous. I was like, I was like, and I got all weird looking, just I was like, you know, and then she said, no, this is how you kiss. So she grabbed me by the shirt, took my shirt off, and then she tongue kissed me, and then I tongue kissed her. Then boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. And then we got completely nude. I didn't know anything about a condom. I'm inexperienced. So I get it in at that time. Oh, yes, I did have I'm sorry. We did have a condom. Yes. So I put a condom on. I wasn't dumb. I did put a condom on. So we get it in. And so it was great. I felt good. I felt her jerk. I felt her body jerk. And she said, oh, there's someone coming. I didn't know anything about coming. And then I released and I said, oh, wow, I didn't know that women can come. I didn't know that. I'm inexperienced. And we like, and I looked at her, I said, can we smoke a cigarette? And she started laughing. She said, why you say that? Because I watch movies and every time they make love, they smoke a cigarette. Well, she said, I don't smoke cigarette at all. I said, oh, that's okay. I don't smoke either, but I'm just saying it's a bit weird. And she said, oh, you're so funny. I start laughing. And then I cleaned myself up and I left. And so after we had that experience with me and Patrice, about a couple of days, she was telling my sister how good I was in bed. I'm amazing. Now, my sister was about 14, 15 years old, maybe 13, 14. She was young, right? And so she was how good as we, blah, blah, blah. She wanted to do it again. It was awesome. And then she said that she was pregnant. I didn't believe my sister. So I was just ain't happy when she ain't pregnant, blah, blah, blah. We're not married. So, but she called me and she said these words. She said, all right, Keys, I'm pregnant. I said, excuse me? I'm 18, 19 years old. I said, really? She said, yes. I said, oh my gosh. I cried. I said, excuse me while I cry. And she said, why you want to cry? I said, I don't know what to do. So I'm going to cry. And I said, I'm going to call you back. And I cried. And I wept. And so somebody told in my spirit, said, call Mama Wiley. So I called her and I was so hysterical, hurt, confused. And I called my mother. I said, I don't know what's going on. She said, what? I said, she said she's pregnant. What? So he said, and my mother said, well, let's not rush to conclusions. She's probably late. I said, late what? She was on time. What is she late on? And then she had to break it down about a menstrual cycle. I didn't know nothing about no menstrual cycle. What's that? And then she told me that. I didn't know. I was to all of that. And so about a couple of days later, Patrice called me. And she said these words. She said, I'm not pregnant. I got my period. I said, hallelujah. You understand what I'm saying? And the reason why I was praising him and spoke in an unknown tongue because she was a bad, terrible mother. She was a little touch, and she was out there. She was a Jezebel, if you understand the scripture. What's a Jezebel? Google it. She was a woman that everybody had her. And I knew that sense. I didn't want Mrs. Wiley. I did not want to share Mrs. Wiley with the congregation in the bedroom. So I didn't want all of my friends, all of them had it, Charmin, Jerry, everybody, Sam, even a 15-year-old person, Sir Stephen, he did it with her. he got it in with her. And so I didn't want Mrs. White to be that way. So the first time we did it, it was awesome. And so I went back to her because she kept asking for it. So let's go back. This time, she got more children. So she got the more children. And this time, it wasn't the same. She didn't know how to ride it right. She was tired. The kids knocking on the door. And she said, let's come on. Let's hurry. Don't worry about it. I said, I can't concentrate. She said, why you can't concentrate? I said, it's too much noise, too much kids noise. This ain't the time. She said, come on, don't worry about that. They used to, don't worry about that. And I said, I can't. I said, it's not it's not rising to the occasion. She said, you say, I thought you was a real man. I said, I am a real man, but I can't do it. It's too much noise. I can't concentrate. Then the kids come in the room. I put my clothes on, didn't even take off my rubber. Like I rush out the door. She said, you gonna leave? You ain't gonna stay. You like this? This supposed to be your guy, kids. Why? Just wait till they go to sleep. I'm gonna give them some NyQuil. I said, you don't have to get them no NyQuil. I'm good. I got to go home. My grandma, I got a certain curfew. I'm done. You don't have to give your kids no NyQuil. And so I left, and she was blowing my phone up, and she cussed me out like a dog. And then at that time, you know what I'm saying? I needed to find work. I needed to find, you know what I'm saying? I was 18, 19, and I couldn't find work. So I get into the military, finally got into the military. And then I come back, that didn't work. And then she was pregnant with twins, right? She was pregnant with twins. And everybody spreaded a rumor, she spreaded it, that Wiley is Marquise is the father, and told my uncle, and my uncle Bishop Cartwright came to me, is those your twins? I said, sir, no. I said, no, sir, that's not my twins. I said, that's Sir Stephen's twins. That's him. That's his twins. He had it, and he knew it was his twins. I said, it's there. And then Patrice told me, she said, it is Sir Stephen twins. It's not yours. And Sir Stephen at that time was 15 years old. And so once Patrice told me that, Sir Stephen, his mother, Dianetta, was so upset and embarrassed and emotional, she took her son, not to the police, which she should have done. She took him to the bishop. Bishop Melvin Cartwright. And so they went upstairs in the office. They went past the conference room, sat in the office, Patrice, Sir Stephen, Danetta. And in that meeting, according to Patrice, that Danetta said, I want her to go to jail. And Patrice, she's a little touched. Well, if she wants me to go to jail, I'll go to jail. And Bishop Cartwright said, no. I said, if she go to jail, her children will go to the state. So no, we're going to pray about it in so many words. Danetta was so angry as the mother, so upset, she left church and never returned back. This happened over 10 plus years ago. Little longer than that. And she never came back for a visit. And people said, well, what happened to Danetta? Why she never visit? Because she felt that the church covered up her son because he was statutory R-word. Because that's what it was. It was statutory R-word. And a woman violated her son. And she brought it to the preacher. That's what her mother, Sister Butler, that's what she told her to do. And she didn't agree with it. I didn't agree with it. Because if you are violated, then that person needs to go to jail. This is no longer spiritual. You committed a crime in the world. So you must bring the judge involved because it is a matter that a crime was committed. And so it disturbed my spirit so. And then once my sister told me that she was violated by Brother Sherman, it just disturbed me so. I was confused, hurt, disturbed, and I was angry at my uncle because a man that I look as a father, the man of God, I said he made a mistake and people are getting hurt. And so once my sister brought her allegations that she was violated by Brother Sharman, she brought it to me and said, Marquise, when Sharman would come over, he would touch me. I said, what? And so my grandmother, myself, my sister, my grandmother stepped in. I told her, yes, you told me, but Gail, what did you do? I said, wait a minute. What does you mean? What did she do? She was a child. And for the first time out of my 20-some years of living, I raised my voice at my grandmother because I was angry. I said, what do you mean? What did she do? She was a child. He was an adult. And then my sister said, well, I'm not the only one. Kaya was violated as well. Went to Kaya. She said, yes, I was violated. So you had two people, two girls that was violated by a man in the church. I bring it to Bishop Cartwright. That's my uncle. He told me, quote, you don't know what we're doing. You talk too much. Leave it alone. I said, no, sir. I can't leave it alone. This is my sister, and I won't leave it alone. I couldn't leave it alone if I wanted to. It disturbed me, so I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. Couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, couldn't eat. I stayed apace, and that's when I had my breakdown. It disturbed me so that I had a breakdown. I was cussing everybody out because I was hurt, confused, crimes were being committed, and I felt powerless. Nobody wanted to hear. Everybody turned against me. And so once I had my breakdown, I was kicked out. The same Bishop Cartwright that did not like it when you bring a judge involved, he got a restraining order. Got a restraining order against me. Didn't know where I lived at, served it to a previous employer. And we was in the courtroom, and he tried to get us arrested then. Thank God we ain't dumb. We researched the laws, and you must be served with in order to be valid, you got to be served. And so I spoke to the judge calmly. I said, ma'am, I was not served with the paperwork. And the judge said, wait, Mr. Wiley got a point. He was not served. Sir, he's like, I want to arrest. He brought it. Sir, so my uncle, we're going to serve Mr. Wiley in open court. So they served me in open court and said, you got 30-some days for a next hearing. I said, ma'am, to the judge. And he was like, I need to know where you live at. I said, you don't need to know that. And the judge said, you don't need to know what Mr. Wiley said. I said, ma'am, I don't have money to come back in 30 days. She said, okay, well, I'm going to make my decision today. You got 2 years. You can't mention your uncle, talk about your uncle, post about your uncle or your grandmother for 2 years. She said, do you agree with this? If you violate, you go to jail. I said, ma'am, I agree with it. So for 2 years, I stayed completely silent, getting my data and my thoughts. For 2 years, I stayed silent about this story. When at that time, it was many years, a couple of years ago, with 2 years been expired, but I stayed silent. But when I got the documentation of the restraining orders, I had two. Granny got one. They tried to silence me with 2 restraining orders. So I decided, I read my grandmother's one. They said I can't go to the church grounds, blah, blah, blah. But I read my uncle's restraining order. And in page 2, in the paragraph, it said, Marquise Wiley tarnished my reputation with preachers. My reputation is severely damaged with preachers because I told the preachers what he said about them, what was going on. He didn't like it. So a lot of preachers turned against him. So you said this, how do Marquise know this? So they turned against him. So in the documentation, I could not be around my cousin at that time. She was a kid. Now she's a almost a high school graduate, if not graduate. Couldn't be around at that time. There was no dog, but they just had a dog. I couldn't be around the dog. Let's call the dog Coco. Couldn't be around Coco. And I was on the phone with my father, my stepfather, and I said, Daddy, in the document, I can't be around the dog. He said, well, what did you do to the dog? I didn't even know they had a dog. They just got it. I was hurt, confused, and in the courtroom, me and my grandmother were talking. She said, well, come to the house to get your clothes because I had another agreement with the judge. She said, we will grant your request to allow you to go to your granny to get the rest of your stuff with a police escort. Me and my grandmother is talking. Bishop Cartwright intervened. Go, he breaking the rules. He breaking the rules. Arrest him. And the sheriff said, no, we're not going to arrest him. His granny is trying to discuss. And I talked to the bailiff. I said, I'm trying to discuss when can I get my clothes. Bailiff said, we're not going to arrest him. He have not violated anything. He can ask her, when can he get the clothes? And ma'am, you wear it? She said, yes, he can come get his clothes at 5 o'clock. So about 5 o'clock, I show up with District 7 police. 3 police cars escort me there. 2 police squad cars stay there. 2 officers escort me all the way upstairs to my room to grab everything and to come all the way back downstairs. And I said, when I left my grandmother's house, I said, I'm going to tell everybody what y'all did to Brother Wiley. I'm going to tell the world. I said, officers, I said in 2 years, after these 2 years, I'm telling the world what I experienced. And he said, brother, I ain't mad at you. And when I'm 2 years up, I don't care what show I am doing. I will always share my experience of what I experienced in the church. And I will never waver and sway from it. So recently, Brother Starman come with his new wife. The other one, he didn't want to deal with her because he was on the down low. He didn't want to sleep with her. He dumped her and she got a new wife. So he come to Chicago. He don't come to the church because why he didn't come to the church? Because true church under the leadership of Bishop Cartwright do not believe that you can get married and get divorced and married again. Let me break that down. So if I were to get married to Aaliyah TV and me and Aaliyah TV get married, walk down the aisle, I get upset at Aaliyah TV, I divorce her. I am not, according to Bishop Cartwright teaching, I cannot get remarried until she dies. Until she close her eyes in a casket, then that is when I am permitted to get married again. So if I want to get married to Prada, I want to have my new wife, Bishop Cartwright will not marry us. He will not agree for no counselor or marriage because I am committing sin. So I will have to go to another church to marry us. I will not be permitted to get married in the true church sanctuary. And you already know I can't get married to no man. That's already out. So I love Prada. We in love. We're expecting our first child together. And Bishop won't agree. So I will have to go to another church. So those are the rules. So Sherman Cain, number one, he's embarrassed. My mother don't want nothing to do with him. And he can't see his face around at true church because he have been remarried. So they already said it's sinful. Amen. So that is the teaching. We're not Kojic, because he believed Kojic stand for Church of God in Cash. That's what he believed Kojic stand for. We fellowship, they fellowship with certain Kojic, but that's no more. Because Bishop Cartwright don't believe in women preachers. So when I develop and come on the YouTube streets and they say, Wiley, why don't you believe in women preachers? I'm going to tell you why. Because out of the 20 plus years I've been under the leadership of my uncle, Bishop Cartwright, he have always said a woman is not permitted in the pulpit. Women are not permitted to preach. Women are not permitted to be a minister. Women are not permitted to be a bishop. Women are not permitted to be an apostle. So for 2 decades, that is what I've been taught on Tuesday night Bible study, Wednesday night prayer, Friday night service, every second Saturday, all day Sunday from the morning to about until he get tired, 8, 9 o'clock at night. That is what has been embedded in my head. So I am 32 years old today. Still, I would say I don't believe in women preachers. So I'm saying, I don't believe it. Because Bishop Cartwright said women preachers are going to hell. That's what he taught. And if you don't believe me, go visit it for yourself. And if you're a preacher, say, I want to sit in the pulpit. I am evangelist napkin. You will not be permitted in that pulpit. Even if a woman want to make an announcement, she will have to stand on the floor. She cannot stand in the pulpit to make an announcement. You cannot sit at the podium and even make an announcement. You have to sit and stand on the floor. Do you hear me? As I'm making sense? So when people say to me, why do you not believe in women preachers? Because I have 20 years of teaching. That is wrong. Why do you not believe LGBT folks should get married? Because I have 20 plus years of teaching. That is wrong. Do you understand what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? Do you understand what I am saying? Under the leadership of Bishop Cartwright, that women are not permitted to wear pants. You cannot wear pants as a woman. So for years, until my grandmother got sick, I saw her with pants on. I'm a grown adult. I was shocked to see her with pants on. But she's sick. We have no choice. Whatever your caregiver put on, that you put on. For all of my life, I've never seen, until I turned 32, since she was sickly, with pants on. Because it was not permitted for women to wear pants. They will have to wear skirts to their ankles. Long skirts. You cannot be a woman and wear a mini skirt. They will put a towel or a sheet over you. You cannot have all that cleavage with your chest meat out. You will be completely covered. The mothers will put a blanket sheet to cover you. You cannot sit in the front. You're not permitted to sit in the front with a mini skirt and with your chest meat out. The ushers will have you sit in the back because they feel as though it is temptation to tempt the preachers. So you will not be permitted to sit in the front. You will have to sit in the back. Is I'm making sense today? A good friend Crystal came to the visiting church and she came to True Church, they covered her up because she had everything showing. Big, thick, curves everywhere. Beautiful, thick. I was like, yes, I want that. And she was very attracted to me. And my uncle said, you need to do something, Wiley. She really like you. What you gonna do? And at that time, I didn't know anything about non-binary, call me a it, her. I didn't know anything about that. I said, well, I don't know. So I pushed Crystal away. I stopped answering her phone calls. I left the job though. I just knocked her out of my mind because I was not ready to commit to her only. So I decided to part ways because I saw how Sharma, he got married and he didn't like her only because he lived in a down low lifestyle. So I had sense enough. I did not want to marry Crystal and play with her knowing I'm still playing with man bread baskets. No. So I did out of her to save her from crying, to save her the embarrassment, to save her the shame. I decided to part ways from Crystal. Did it hurt me? Yes, because I really loved her. And I think about her a lot. So when that happened, now at 32, I'm more mature. I understand being bi, that it is okay to like women or men. It is okay. So I've learned that. But at that time in my 20s, I did not know. I was about 21, 22 years old. She was an older lady, not too much older. She was about 29, 28, 29, about 21, 22. And I was pulling her. It was so good that she will come pick me up from the South Side, and she lived all the way in Amherst, Illinois. So she would drive all the way from Amherst, Illinois to come to Inglewood, Chicago to pick me up from work. We would work, and I would have to be at work earlier, so she would have to get there earlier, and she would pick me up. She would leave her job early, the hospital that she worked at the time, and come pick me up. And then go clock out there and come to the other job that we worked together. She did that. Ain't no woman gonna come pick you up like that unless they really like you. I had it like that. Oh, player, I had it like that. Oh, Wally I got some game, baby. So that's what it was. I wasn't trying to be no thug. I ain't no thug. I'm a church kid. But what I knew, talk about scripture, I knew how to communicate. I knew how to flirt. I knew how to do it. I knew how to talk to women, just having regular conversation. My personality was great. I know how to make you laugh, all of that. You know what I'm saying? I'll never forget it. Just she was everything. I can tell you those stories. So, but I couldn't waste my time. I didn't want to waste her time because I didn't want her only. At that time, I had attractions to men. I remember being and crying to get it out of me because I really wanted to be with her. And so that is that story. So I had to open up with that. We're going to get into these topics because always, this is the Wiley Show. So I will always open up, talk about me. I always will talk about me. First, I am my top priority. So I'm going to talk about me first. So I got all in my business. So don't be spooked and nervous when I get in your business. I told all my personal business. So don't be shocked that I'm in yours. Okay? So I would cry. I was like, oh, I don't want to do it. You understand what I'm saying? I did it. And so I remember being in church. I was the Andrew before it was the Andrew. It just wasn't no cameras. I'm delivered. Jesus, 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 Jesus. I can dance, 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 dance all night. I thought I was delivered. I thought I was free. I was praising. I was on the train, met a man, whoosh. Come on, somebody. I was on the train. Holy, I thought. And I saw a man. And the man gave me some eye contact. I gave him some eye contact. I sat with the man. And I went to his house. And we did some things. And he was a Kojic member. It was great. He was on the down low. I didn't know what it was, but he said, I'm on the down low. I didn't know what down low. Okay. I'm on the down low too. I didn't know what that meant at the time. I would go play the drums at his church. Oh, he would say, this is my friend. And his father was like, oh, it's good that my son got a good friend. You could play them drums. Didn't even know I'm playing drums in his bread basket. Your son bread basket. He was in a nice Kojic church. I ain't gonna say the name because you know they watching. Went there, we screwed. After we left the church, the first thing we did was just out and screwed. Ripped them church clothes off, threw them drumsticks in the air, and screwed. And then we would talk about scripture. We were church people. I didn't know anything about ghetto. We talked about church, the scripture. After we, yeah, man, that was a good sermon. It was. It really was. Well, what's your favorite Bible scripture? Oh, this is my favorite scripture. Psalms 40:1. I waited patient for the Lord. He inclined unto me and heard my cry. That's all I knew was church. That's all I knew was church. And so he was getting it in. And it was secret. I was considered on the down low. Because when I was 13, Bishop Cartwright was preaching against the lifestyle. Hard. You're burning. It scared me. So we was upstairs. Tuesday night Bible study was let out. My uncle was on his way to go work. But before you go, I said, Bishop, gotta talk to you. He said, what do you? I said, I gotta talk to you about the homosexuality. And he said, okay, we're gonna talk. So that Friday, I was his armor bearer. We go up in the office. He said, now what's going on with this? Arquise, what's going on? Tell me. What happened? I said, when I was 8 or 9, I had these feelings. You know what I'm saying? I was 8, 9 years old. I got it in with the next door neighbor. We was about 8, 9. We was getting it in. I was on the party line getting it in. And I was telling him everything. He said, okay. Well, with God, he made the body. Do you feel like you was born this way? I said, yeah, I feel like I was born this way. He said, well, you must be born again. So I want you to get on that altar. I said, yes, sir. I want you to call on Jesus. I said, yes, sir. So we would go in the church and get on the altar. I would get there. And it was a song that would say, I'm on the altar, Lord. Want you to bless my soul. I'm on the altar, Lord. Want you to bless my soul. I'm on the altar, Lord. Want you to bless my soul. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. And I would get that, Jesus, 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 Jesus. And my grandmother was like, call him, son. And I was speaking tongues, and I thought I was delivered. Because the saints would tell me how they was delivered from. One lady said she was a prostitute. She was delivered from lesbianism. She was delivered from drugs. This person said she had lesbianism tendencies, was delivered. I said, oh, if it can happen for Sister So-and-so, Sister Williams and Sister Boot, I know it can happen for Brother Wiley. So I called on Jesus. And then I would get up, Harlem, sir. Jesus, Jesus. I'm spin. They call it purging, slobbing, rolling on the floor, shouting all in the aisle. I said, I'm delivered. I ain't gay no more. I don't. You know, that's what I thought. So I went on a tour. Every church I went to, I said, I was gay, but now I'm free. They would shout, going to praise. And then soon I get done doing all that shouting and speaking in tongues, I go watch adult entertainment with men getting it in. And I will go screw my buddy that I met on the blue line. And I will go to church, put on my bow tie, put on my clothes, go direct the choir. The Lord is blessing me right now. Oh, right now. I would pretend like it. And then I would say, I'm still saved and all that, you know. And then one particular day, I just got tired of being a hypocrite. I got tired of hiding. I meet Jonathan. I move in with him. I really want to live my life. I just got tired of hiding. It was draining to live, to be on a DL. I don't know what these people want to be on a DL. It's draining to live a secret life. I got tired. This is why I started doing videos. I started going to gay parties. I started interviewing people. And then word came out to Bishop Cartwright that your nephew is leading praise and service, and he is an F word. He's this and this. And the allegations came to Bishop Cartwright. Wednesday night prayer at 8 o'clock. The Saints, they praying. I get there, and Bishop Cartwright go to his office. He said, I need to talk to you. I said, yes, sir. I said, I've gotten some of my inbox that said, your nephew is gay and all of this. What do you got to say about that? I said, it's true. I mean, so I want you to leave. And I said, do you want me to leave? And he said, I think it's best. I said, okay, I leave. And he asked my sister about it, and she didn't know what was going on. She said, I don't know, I don't know what Marquis doing in his bedroom. So I left. And then I was the choir director. So he said, before choir rehearsals start, oh yeah, we telling it, I need you to come to my office. So he would get to church early. Choir rehearsal started at 6:45. This particular time, Bishop Cartwright comes early to the church. We go to the office. He said these words, you can't direct the choir because I don't want that spirit that you have to leap out on other choir members. I said, leap? I ain't no frog. Anyway, I said, wow, I was hurt. I said, really? I said, I'm a great director. You know what I'm saying? He said, no, you can't have that spirited director choir. I preach against it. You, my nephew. I can't have that. I said, I'm going to give you the keys back because I was a key holder, like an alarm. He said, no, you can keep the keys. I said, no, sir, you can have the keys. And from that point on, the relationship with me and my uncle, Bishop Cartwright, was completely tarnished. I was hurt, confused, and then after all of that, allegations started coming by my sister and blah, blah, blah. It was like a domino effect. I didn't know nothing about no counseling. I needed some therapy. I just had to deal with it all. And I was balling that all in. Church people turned against me. Patrice had a child. I was holding her daughter, and her auntie, Sister Allison, told Patrice, don't let him hold your child because he got a spirit, and we don't want that spirit leaping on your child. And Patrice said, I don't understand why would she say nothing like that. That's wrong. That's wrong. I said, wow. And that's what she said. I was hurt. Sister Allison was my YPW teacher, like the youth leader. Like I used to conduct the service with you, sir. Every first Sunday, I was the H.E. Cohier choir director. I was very active. We laughed together and all that. And that's what she thought about me. I was hurt, confused. And I would pray. I said, well, get it out of me. And I prayed, cried, didn't go nowhere. It was right there. And my uncle said, you just need to stop doing it. I said, I try to stop doing it, but it's close to impossible to stop. You can stop it. If you really want to stop it, you can do it. I said, I was just confused. I was all the way confused. I was just confused that confused can be. And I was trying to learn about spirituality. I was watching Minister Farrakhan. They was against it. I was trying to get some help. I was trying to, what's going on? And I said, I don't want to burn. And then I started focusing on my show. I delete my videos. I'm going to be, so all episodes I was getting views. I delete that video. I delete that video. I delete that video. I delete, because Bishop like, delete them videos. You're going to hell. Delete it. And I only want to go to hell. So all my resume interviews that getting views, I deleted them all. Finally, when I'm coming up in 2010, 12, coming up, I deleted it all. People was like, where's my video? Where's the interview? I said, skip the interviews. You're on your way to hell. They said, what the world is going on? And then I would post on my Facebook, God is coming. Jesus is Lord. And I would post scriptures. And then when I'm in church, I'm cussing. So my cousin, Jonathan, and his friends, they would say, we could tell when Marquise is in church because he posting scriptures. And then when I'm at church, so I would come to church and then come home, Jonathan getting it in, shirtless man. I mean, liquor everywhere, smoke everywhere. I would cover my bow tie and I would come in and they said, how you doing? I said, I'm blessed. And I tried my best. I went there and it didn't work. And then as soon as I take the clothes, I'm right back on somebody's back. You know what I'm saying? So, and I was hurt. I was confused. I didn't know what to do. So I tried to make it work with the church. I tried. I really, really tried. Then post nightclub, that massacre happened. And so me and my grandma were getting ready for church, as we always do for Sunday school. Sunday school started at 10 o'clock a.m. Still do to this day. And we were watching the CNN and we're talking about how all those community members lost their life. And I said, they about to get dragged in Bishop Cartwright's sermon. So we in Sunday school, I'm sitting down. I'm not the choir director no more. I've been sat down. So my uncle got up to address the congregation in Sunday school. We ain't talked about the Sunday school lesson yet. But he said, Saints, I've been watching the news and I felt so bad because this woman was crying about her son, how her son, he lost his life. But then she said her son and her son love her. And I said, wait, well, what do you think going to happen? The Bible says Solomon and Gomorrah. You're not going to live a healthy life with that lifestyle. Everybody was looking at me because at that time they just knew I was there. They was looking at, and I was hurt. I'm already grieving that I lost people in my community. I was hurt, was sad. People down my timelines lost some people because at that time I had everybody in the community on my timeline. I was hurt. So I stood up. This is the first time ever. And I walked out. Never did I ever do that. And my grandmother looked. Everybody looked. I got up and I shake my head and I got up and left. I left. Went down the stairs, got on that green line and left. Went back home. My grandma said, that's disrespectful. You don't leave. That's embarrassing. That's your uncle. Why would you leave? You need to sit down. You need to stop doing that. I said, I didn't agree. I was hurt. So I was so hurt. I was just a hurt man. I was a hurt young man. So many people, well, Wiley, what happened to you? Why you had to break down? Do you understand the trauma that I experienced? That was trauma. I don't think you need to share that. I'm going to share it to help the next one. So I had all that trauma. And I will never forget, I went back to the church and I got my camera because I was really helping the church. I brought my camera to take pictures. Like most of the pictures on the True Church Holiness page, all them old pictures, we took it. And they still got them up there that we took. Didn't take it down. But I took all those pictures. And I went and got my camera. I don't know. My uncle, he went out of town or something. And Sister Boo, one of the members said, Brother Marquise, don't leave. Stay right here. Don't you backslide. You got that spirit. I was delivered. You can get delivered, Brother Marquise. Don't leave. I said, Sister Boo, I'm done. I want my camera. I'm out of here. I said, I understand what you said. Got the camera, went to my grandmother's house. No, went somewhere. And then I was doing a gay pride. It was a Sunday. And I went to go see Dumb Blonde. I went with my friends and we went to the club at Dumb Blonde. That was that Sunday because that incident that happened, that post just happened like a day or two before Gay Pride. And Dumb Blonde, I think I said today, they used to be in this group. I think it's called Dumb Blonde, you know, all that. And they were before my sister said, be careful because you know things are going on. I said, I'm gonna be careful. And I brought my camera. I took pictures and everything. Then one of the members said, I remember one of the people said, oh, I listened to your radio show. And I didn't understand it then that I had followers. I thought nobody listened to me. So it was this guy, he came up to me, he said, I listened to your radio show. I said, well, this is my co-host, Flash Gotti. I don't know who he is, but I know who you is. Well, I said, oh, and he was offended. My co-host was offended because he didn't know who he was. He only knew me because I was the star of the show. I didn't know that then. I didn't know I was a star. But yeah, so when that situation came on in and all of the conversations that we had, and I didn't know how hurt I was until I had the mental breakdown, until I had to get into psychiatry. I was like, oh, it's a lot of trauma. And my sweet grandmother, so sweet. Oh, she's a sweet lady. I was in the restroom, coming out of the restroom. She come right there before I came out, and she said, Marquise. No, she said, Marquis, you know they die horrible. You know that? I said, Grandma, okay, I hear you. Well, if you hear me, you need to get saved because they die horrible. And I was so hurt. I didn't know what to do. Nobody said get counseling. We praying. I mean, woo. I left and I said, this is much. I didn't know because Jonathan didn't understand. He was never a church person. So everything I said was foreign to him. I tried to leave the church, go join another church, but this is my family church. I've been there for years. It's like a battered woman. You go, good, leave. Everybody can't leave. You've been indoctrinated. It's hard. You need God to get you out of that situation. So I left, and then I had to break down, and then God intervened and said, we gonna get you up out of Chicago. We get you out of here. And I was pushed up out of Chicago and I moved to Dallas. And that was the best thing for my mental health, for my spirit. That was the best thing for me because I needed that healing. And I still not all the way fully healed. Because I went and I started going to Chicago. I don't go to True Church anymore because we dragged them and all that. Don't do that. So I said, well, let me go to Apostle Kevin Cunningham Church. Let me go to Transformation Center of Chicago. I remember going there. That's a good church. I like to watch them online. And so I went. And it's about a month or so ago, I went there, had on my church clothes. Apostle Kevin Cunningham brought me in front of the church. Actually, he prayed for me and said, I'm rebuking premature death. I said, okay. I got up there. He said, all you know is church. You got to let grudge go. Don't mess with church people. And I'm saying it, and he was saying it from a good place. Over the church. Y'all pray for Brother Marquise. Oh, no, he said Brother Wiley. All this. And he sat me in front of the church. I tried to leave and go. I can go back home. I got to get back to the city. And then he said these words. He said, I want you to be, do you have a church home? I said, no. He said, I want you to be a member of this church. I said, thank you. So he raised hands. He laid hands on me. I was so into it. That was the first time I had somebody lay hands on me in years. And so I'm just receiving that. The reason why I still give money when I can, why I'm not a full-time member, because I don't live in Chicago. If I did live in Chicago, then yes, I'll be a member there. You understand what I'm saying? I'll be a member there. You know, I would. I really would. Even though his wife be preaching, and she does a great job. The service on point. I mean, Apostle Kevin Cunningham can really preach because he really be teaching. Great guy and everything. But they don't believe in being gay and that you can be saved. They don't believe in that. Now, he's not as harsh like Bishop Cartwright, but he still have the same belief, but he don't get in the pulpit, and majority of his sermons is against that lifestyle. I will give Apostle Kevin Cunningham that. He rarely have that as the subject. But Bishop Cartwright, majority of his sermons will be that. I remember my Uncle Freddie passed. He's mentally ill. All he was living in mental hospitals. And so Freddie, my uncle passed. He died. I get the phone call and it said Freddie had passed. I was going to buy the plane ticket, and my mother said, well, we're going to have the funeral at True Church, and Bishop Cartwright is preaching. I said, well, I won't be able to attend. No, I said, oh, I'll come. And then I called her back. No, Mom. I'm not welcome there. I haven't got Bishop Cartwright on the phone. We have not talked. So I will not be attending my uncle's funeral there. She said, I think it's best. She said, your brother Darius feel the same way. He's not coming either. And other members didn't come because it was with other Bishop Cartwright. So they live streamed Uncle Freddie's funeral. And so I wanted to support my uncle. So I wanted to see what was going on. Bishop Cartwright got up and started speaking against the community, the lifestyle. My sister, who is, I would say, identified as go both ways, she stood up and walked out. Because she told me, she said, Marquise, I walked out. And in the video, you can hear the door like close. She left because he decided to preach against the lifestyle. It was so controversial that other members of the family, that is not on my grandmother's side, that is my mother's father's side, right? They said well, they would never come back because they felt like, why would you preach about that at a funeral? Why is it so much obsession with that particular subject? You understand what I'm saying? So they were saying, why is it so obsessed with that particular subject? Why is it that it's so much obsession? And so that's what it was. So I made the right decision not to go. And so we had these conversations. We talked. When I come and visit, he don't come visit his mother when I'm there. Other church members, they will come just to spy and will ask me, when are you going home? One of the members, Sister Williams, she said, Brother Marquise, when you going back home? That ain't none of, I wanted to tell her chick, that ain't none of your business when I'm going back home. I said, I'm going back home. I said, I wanted to tell her none of your business. Anyway, so they could report back. And I don't hide. I don't put my head down. And so my uncle, he don't go. When we had my grandmother's 88th party and we bought the cake and ice cream, we did the video, we produced the video. We had one of our editors make a video for my grandmother. He didn't show up because Brother Wiley was there. He didn't show up. And other old church members that are not members of True Church said, you did a great job with that video. Thank you. And I said, you're not going to go and celebrate. He wanted to post because I was getting all the clout on social media. So my uncle, Bishop Cartwright, he bought a cake for his mother just to take a picture and then give her the cake. He just took a picture of the cake for his social media platform. So it'll make it seem to the public that he did come and celebrate his mother's 88th birthday party. He was not there. So when I saw that, I said, I'm at my business. And so I was there. We ate the cake, had a beautiful time. And I will continue to have a beautiful time with my family. I love them. Thank God my relationship with my immediate family have definitely been healed. And I get along with all my siblings, all of them. Get along with my grandmother well, get along with my mother very well. But I do not get along. I would say this. I have not had a conversation with Bishop Melvin Cartwright to work out our differences. The only time I talked to Bishop Cartwright was a couple of years ago when my grandmother, she had her stroke, and my mother wanted to be her full-time caregiver, and they didn't want my mother to be the full-time caregiver, or they didn't want my grandmother, to live with my mother. They didn't mind her being a full-time caregiver, but they said my bishop was against her living with my mother. Why? Because my mother is married and she's not with the person that she's married to. She got a boyfriend, and they call that shacking. She's committing adultery. So they didn't want her. But no other church member, Sister Williams, Sister Boo, wanted to be my grandmother's full-time caregiver. Bishop Cartwright did not want to give money for a full-time caregiver for my grandmother to stay in her home. So they had no other. So I called. It was a big mess. And then one of the members of the church, Sister Angie, came to see my grandmother. And one of the members, Sister Boo, came and said, "You're not allowed to see her under the direction of Bishop Cartwright." And they called my mother, and my mother was upset. And so for the first time in history, my mother made a Facebook post. Now, mind you, my mother is not problematic. She ain't in no mess. She ain't making no Facebook. But this particular time, a couple of years ago, she made a Facebook post and she said, "I apologize, and this to the former members of the True Church of Holiness. I did not like this of the new leader, Bishop Carr, for doing this or treating members like this. My son tried to warn me, but my son Marquise tried to warn me about this, but I did not want to hear him. And I do want to say sorry to Marquise Wiley." She tagged me in the post. Bishop Cartwright, I called Bishop because now my mama upset. Now I got to call. Now you playing with my mama now. So I was in Dallas. I'm ready to pull up. So because I'm medicated, I didn't pull up. So I said, what would my psychiatrist say? Okay, call. So I get on the phone. I know the number by heart. Hello? I said, Bishop. He said, "Who this?" I said, "This Brother Marquis." He said, "Yes." I said, "I don't know what's going on because, if my mama want to take care of my grandmother, I mean, y'all should allow it to happen. She's doing too much, driving all the way to the suburbs, to the south side. It's just too much for my mother. So why not, Marquis, whatever your grandmother want to do, I'm not going to force her." I said, "Sir, you her pastor. Whatever you tell her to do, she'll do it. Well, it's up to her. I said, I'm only concerned because this is my mother and my grandmother. I think you should use your authority as the oldest son over her money and her pastor to tell her it is best for you to live with your daughter because you can't take care of her." "Oh, I hear what you're saying, and how you been doing?" I said, "I'm blessed." And we got on the phone. That was the last time he said, "I don't think y'all should be making Facebook posts. That's between the family." I said, "Well, my mother have a right. She grown, and she have a right to post what she want to post. She's not a member, and you ain't, you know what I mean? So she can post what it was." "I don't understand that. You're supposed to keep that between the family. Everybody don't need to know." I was saying in my head, no, people do need to know about this because not only they clear my name, they need to know what's going on because you got messy. You got another member to tell another member not to come visit Granny, and she told my mother, and my mother responded. So everybody needs to know. All right, gonna clear my name. So I'm glad she did it. I didn't tell him that, but in my head. So he hung up the phone. That was the last time. It was raining. That was the last time I spoke to Bishop Melvin Cartwright. That was the last time. I spoke to Bishop Cartwright. We tried to send him a cash app because I love my uncle. I tried to send him a little cash app for his birthday. He returned the cash app. and told my mother, Marquise tried to send a cash out. She told me, don't send him no more money. So all the money that I sent to him, I gave it to Apostle Kevin Connier. So every time I come in, all my offerings go to the Transformation Center of Chicago. I send it to their cash out. So, and all of that. And so when it happened, I saw it. And so people were saying things that my grandmother was going through, and they didn't like that my grandmother's house was being sold. And everybody brought my name up. Ooh, I'm surprised. What do Marquise got to say? I'm so surprised he make no post. I'm so surprised he didn't make no video. I'm so surprised he didn't do this. I'm so surprised he didn't do this. What do Marquise have to say? And my sister brought it to me, and she said, well, what do you have to say? I said, I don't have nothing to say. That's between them. I will not say anything publicly and blast them on social media. I have nothing to say. Was I hurt that they had to sell her house for $60,000? Yes, I was hurt. They sold it for $60,000. They took it and they're remodeling it and about to sell it 3 times that, right? I didn't say nothing. My mother didn't even know that they were selling the house because Bishop Cartwright is all over my grandmother's bank accounts. So I stayed silent. But I said, I'm going to talk about it. I told my sister, I said, I'm going to talk about it on my show. But when I get time to talk about it, I talk about it. And I started to talk about it. And then a couple of videos ago, we decided to post a video of me directing the choir. I remember that. And I directed the choir and boom, 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 posted on my YouTube. Sister Allison and Sister Smith both have commented under the post saying these words. Marquise Wiley is not a member of the True Church of Holiness. Don't give him no money. He's doing it to scam. Because I played the video of me directing the choir. I'm in the video, direct the choir. They said, do not give him no money. He's doing it. He's not a member of the True Church of Holiness. They left a comment under there. We got the screenshot. 2 other members left that under the direction of Bishop Cartwright. They ain't going to do nothing without Bishop Cartwright. 2 other women left a comment under there. Yes, they did. And said, I'm doing it for a scam. I'm doing it for this. I'm doing it for that. He ain't a member of True Church. No, I'm not. But that's still my uncle. Oops. I could talk about Bishop Cartwright because that's my uncle. So I'm not a member of True Church, but that's my uncle. So I will always talk about my uncle. And they follow everything I do. And so Bishop Cartwright, he decided to get a YouTube channel. No subscribers, no views, 10 views, 5 views, because he don't know how to have an online ministry. You kicked out the man that got the knowledge to build your online ministry, because the people that are there, most of them are caregivers, divorcees, single. They don't know anything about online ministry. They don't know. They don't have the skill set. They know how to be messy, but they don't have the skill set to have a live stream your services. So yes, you will have to pick up your phone and record and do it, and you won't have 5 or 10 people watching. Maybe more will watch because I'm giving it promo. Amen. So Bishop Melvin Cartwright, if you Google and see it, you will see he have a YouTube channel, because they see the power and influence that we have, because I'm sharing my story. And they said, oh, they're going to sue you. They can't sue me for what? Bishop Cartwright can't sue. None of them can. Because if they sue, they will have to answer to all the cover-ups that they did. Okay? All right. So when I saw that, I said, whew, okay. I never would have thought that I would have more influence and more of a reach than my uncle. I never would have thought that. Because I was shunned and made fun of and accused of things. And he said, I just want to ask you flat out, do you got AIDS? I said, no, sir. Are you on drugs? I said, no, sir. Well, stop acting like it. I said, how can you act like you got AIDS? And you know what I mean? You know, because that was the thing. They say if you in the community, you automatically got AIDS in this. Okay? Now, how many members in this church? About 6, 7, 8, 9. It used to be more. It's about a handful of members. About 6, 7 members. It used to be about 30, 40, because if you count all the teenagers, they all left. An entire generation left. And I didn't know, Chucktown QT, why people leave in the church. And Bishop would say, because I'm preaching the word, they don't want to live right. But then when I got older, and I start seeing what happened to me, and I start hearing what happened to Mother Price, may she rest in peace, and I start hearing what happened to this person and that person, I said, I get it. It's a messiness in here. I understand. When you join a church and your own family don't want to come hear you preach, you should take and say, what's going on? When your own children, my cousins, Nishanta, Melvin, Nikki, they don't even come and hear their pastor, their daddy preach the word of God. They don't hardly come. They used to come on anniversaries. They stopped doing that. Nobody come. All the members, they did a choir. We gonna get to the topics when I get ready. Now mind you, when I directed the choir, the church was jumping. We had musicians. It was jumping. They had a choir anniversary, about 6 of them, majority of the congregation in the choir. So they was singing. And they was doing all that. Majority of them was singing, and they in the choir. Majority of them in the choir, about 6 or 7 of them, right? And it was 6 or 7 of them in the choir, and they were singing. So Bishop Cartwright got up, and he said, I hear everything, because it's public. You can see it. He said, my neighbor said, do you have a church? He said, yes. He said, now, the neighbor said to Bishop Cartwright, now, I love a good choir. Do you have a good choir? And my bishop told his neighbor, we have one of the best choirs in the world. And nobody clapped. He said, now, y'all can pray. Y'all ain't going to clap for that? Nobody clapped. The best choir. I don't know how that could be when all of them off key. Off key, off beat, off key. I don't know how that is. So he said it, and nobody got up and clapped like, oh, he was the only one. But you push out the choir director, Brother Wiley. You have these policies that you have. You push out a generation. It's so bad. Are we telling it? Minister Cunningham, I've been knowing this minister for years. I don't know what went down, but I do know this. He was relieved of his duty as a minister. He'd been demoted to a drummer. So there is no assistant pastor, minister. The one minister over there, he'd been demoted as a drummer. Play the drum. So my sister and my grandma didn't want me to hear it. She said, don't listen to that, Marquise. So my sister told me, Minister Remay's wife came to the church because she visited another church. She visited Pastor Brown church. Pastor Brown called Bishop Cartwright and said, one of your members is here. So Sister Remay came to the church, came to the front. Bishop got up and said, Sister Remay, did you go to Bishop Pastor Brown church? She said, yes. So why you're not allowed in this church. You are not allowed in this church. Never, not allowed. Sister Remay said, are you finished or are you done? Said, you can leave. You are not allowed in this church. And if you come back, we will call the cops. You're not allowed. Her husband, Minister Cunningham, Minister Remay, was on the drums. Didn't even get up. His wife had to leave. This was over the church. Wife had to leave and he stayed. Now, that disturbs me because I'm like, wait a minute, that's your wife. And if she got to leave, y'all a duo. Okay. And she walk all over Minister Man. And I learned then, don't be a weak man. And see, in the church, are we telling it? I remember one time, Minister Sister May, she was a talker. So pastor was talking about going down. Y'all shouldn't go down on y'all wives. It's against God to do oral, to do fellatio. And Sister May, they were talking. They would do like Bible study. And you could communicate with the pastor. Oh, I ain't got to worry about that with my husband because he don't do that. He don't do that. And Bishop Carter said, oh, no, Sister May, don't say that. Why would you say that over the church? I'm just saying, he just don't do that. He don't do that. He don't go down on me. He don't do that. I'm just saying, I don't care who hit me. He just don't do it. And y'all wonder why Wiley told people business. I was raised other people telling people business. Okay? He would get over the pulpit and tell all your business. Bishop Cartwright will. So it's hard for me to turn against that because that's all I know. Bishop Cartwright was the type of brother, he would get over the church and say, Marquise have been violated by his father. And I said, it must be another Marquise up here because I ain't been touched by my biological father. He's talking about my biological father at the time. He's talking about Mr. Wiley on my birth certificate. On my birth certificate that he violated me. That's what he said over the church. And I'm like, no, that didn't happen. So we get out of Sunday school. I go up to his office at Bishop. He said, yeah. I said, I was not violated by my father. He said, are you sure? I said, yes. He said, but that's what somebody told. I said, sir, they are wrong. I was not violated in word, touch by Calvin Wiley. It didn't happen. I was not touched. He said, okay. So he said, listen, I said something earlier about Marquise that he was touched by his father. And I apologize for that. And somebody told me that. And next time I ain't gonna listen to what people tell me. And I'm saying to myself now, why would you listen to a rumor instead of you coming to me? And why would you put that out over the church without calling me first? Without talking to your nephew? That is a serious allegation. That I was violated. At least let me know. And if I was, I won't want everybody to know that I was violated by it. That's something that I want to keep private until I share it, if I want to share it. He said that another what Bishop Cartwright would do, he had all the versions. He said, I want all the versions. He said, come on up here. If you're a virgin, he brought all up, and none of them were virgins. I was the only one sitting in the audience. I was the only one. He did not call me up. He didn't call my name. He called everybody there, Charmin, Jerry, Sam, Monica, Rashonda, Michelle. He called all of them up. I'm still in the audience. Everybody looking. Ooh. And I went upstairs and said, Bishop, I'm a virgin. Oh, I don't think you're a virgin. Really? Because you said you was with men. I said, no, my Herman ain't been broke. As I thought. And so he said, oh, brother, and then he later that day, he said, oh, I want y'all to know, Brother Marquise, he a virgin. Well, why would you do that? I was saying, because none of them was virgins. And if we was, why are we being propped up like that? He did. He brought all this up. And not one of them was virgin. They were all getting it in. It was so bad, one of them said the rubber burst and juices spread everywhere in the house. That's all I knew. Like, wait a minute, what is that virgin? So, because I wasn't getting it in with women, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't know I was foreign to that, but they were getting it in. So He would do that all over the church. And so I had my breakdown. I was in the hospital, went viral. They said, this is what, because he ain't saved. Okay. Then I get a phone call. Charmin's sister. She had, Treasury, she had a mental breakdown. They came, multiple came. They said Marquisa was so bad that she had to go to a mental hospital. I was hurt, but not shocked. And they tried to cover it up. She was in a mental hospital. Some traumatic. She came from college. Woo! Lost her mind. Had to put her in the hospital. So when these people talk, they're going to tell me everything. When they told me, I wasn't shocked. And I said to my mother, I said, I hope that it will have a conversation about mental health. I said, the reason why I think she had a breakdown because of the trauma. I mean, mama OD'd on drugs. Mama never wanted, they was raised with the grandmother. Grandma really didn't want to raise it because she would say over the church she wanted a husband. She didn't want to have them in her house like that. She was never loved. She was abandoned by her mother. She had to pretend to be this perfect girl, to have straight A's, all this pressure. And I think she just broke under pressure to live up to be this perfect person. And she broke all of that trauma. Instead of her getting help, she just broke. And so when I seen all of this and I saw all of this going on, I said, wow, this is something. All of this trauma, all of this trauma is going on in the church. And when I saw the trauma, I said, this is why going to a psychiatrist is important. And I know I couldn't call Sister Treasury because there is no relationship with those people, because they shunned me, right? I couldn't call her. But I left her a Cash App. And I sent her a Cash App because I told this person to send me her Cash App. In the Cash App, I said, I'm praying for you. And she left a heart. And I did that maybe about 3-4 years ago when it happened. I left her a Cash App. And I said, I'm praying for you. And those are the breakdowns that we know publicly, whatever people know about it privately. And I don't know what to call it. I'm still researching. I'm still healing. But what I can say is it is a strong case of church hurt, a strong case of dysfunction, a strong case of covering up things. It's a strong case of that. And so when she had it, everybody just, what's going on? You know, they talking behind her back, you know, because y'all golden girl, they got the straight A's, had a breakdown. So what does it say about her? Then she shaved her hair. She had long, beautiful hair, and she went bald-headed. She had a child out of wedlock. During that time, she was pregnant. She was pregnant with a child. And, you know, that's a no-no without being married. Oh, you did it, Treasury? Oh, my God. Judgmental. Her grandmother judged her, kicked her out, told her you can't, you know what I mean? Because she was pregnant without being married. And then I will never forget it. I told my grandmother when she came on my sister Tamara, when she was pregnant, they was coming at her. And I said to my grandmother, I said, grandmother, I said, why are you judging her when you got pregnant when you were 13 years old? My grandmother got silent. I said, you got pregnant when you were 13 years old. Your mother and father had to adopt your son, Melvin, and my uncle, Freddie. and your daughter, Louise. So no one judged you. And if they did, you got grace. But you're holy and saved now. I got the Holy Ghost. I said, you got the Holy Ghost now. But you didn't always have that Holy Ghost. You was out in them streets. And all of your children got different daddies. So do not judge my sister because you once walked in her shoes. And she stayed silent. She went in the kitchen. She drank her coffee because it was none but truth. And I went upstairs and did my radio show. Because I didn't like it. They tried to jump on. Then you had Sister Boot, came to my sister Tamara. Oh, you are making my daughter, you are a bad influence to my daughter Kaya. So stop doing, you're a bad influence. She thought Kaya was so innocent, straight A. This is the same Kaya that was violated. My sister was violated by Brother Sharman, but she thought she was so innocent, virgin. One day, Sister Boot got off work. Kaya was doing fellatio with her boyfriend. She came in and her daughter was doing fellatio, getting it in. And I'm going to say this right now. I said, good. She could finally see that you ain't the problem, that her daughter like to get it in. And she kicked her daughter out. They don't share that over the church. She just said, pray for her daughter. She didn't see it. No, I think she did share it over the church. They share everything over the church. And she did. Because they share everything. They share all your business. You want to know anything about the business of a member there? Listen to their testimony. Listen to the prayer request. They're going to share it. Okay? So she saw her daughter licking, lapping on that lolly pad. Getting that like, oh, that mouth, that piece of sausage. And I ain't talking about no sausage link from the store. So she did that and caught her daughter doing it. And I said, good. Maybe they will stop just labeling you being the only one getting it in. And so when all that situation happened, I said, this is a lot. And they was upset that Brother Wiley still, and I have much of a reach now than I had in 2016 when I was just on Facebook cussing everybody out. Now I don't need to cuss. I'm going to say this, ladies and gentlemen. You don't need to cuss when you speak truth to power. I'm going to say it again. You don't need to utter a word of profanity. Only thing you need is to speak the truth. The truth is more powerful than every profanity word you can utter. So yes, did I cuss him out and drag him? Yes. Did I call May She Rest in Peace Mother Price a recorder? Yes, I did. Did I blast it to all the members? Yes. Did I call Sister Williams multiple times? Yes, I did all that. And then I stopped, got help, and I said, wait a minute, I'm still going to tell this story with all the cuss words. And I'm back telling the story. And they try to tell my mother. When I interviewed Mother Price, the video's still out there. I interviewed her. They called my mother, people that she haven't spoke to in years. They called my mother. Said, did you hear what Marquis said? My mother never one time called me to take it down. My sister and Keosha, my cousin, my first cousin, they did a Facebook Live. Why would Marquise do that? Mother Price didn't know she was being recorded. She didn't know what she was doing. Why would he do this? Talking about the church. And Keosha, I'm commenting under there. You just as messy as they come, honey. Okay? You trash Bishop Cartwright all day long. And your friend Nishanta, y'all ain't really friends because you trash her daddy every chance you get. And the only reason why you befriend Nishanta just to get information about her daddy, so you and my auntie Glennis and Ronnie, his brother, y'all could all gossip about her. So, hope you ain't in no more position to call me out when you just as messy as they come. All right? So they was in there. She was on the live just talking. And she said all that stuff. And then one member said, whew, how did Marquise know all that information? And I was sharing some stuff about one of the members when she got pregnant and kicked out of the choir. This was back in the 70s, 75, whatever. She grew up with my mother, like one of my mother friends. And she said to my mother, she said, how did Marquise know this information? Who told him this? How did he know? He wasn't born in the 70s, 80s. How did he know this? Somebody was talking to him. Somebody told him my business. Who told him? And I said, Bishop Melvin Cartwright. He will share your business over the church. So, and Mary said, I want to talk to Marquise. And we talked. I talked to other members. They started talking. The difference between Mary, my mother, and that generation, when this stuff was going on with church hurt, they just talked among themselves and they never went public because there was no Facebook, there was no Twitter, they didn't write no book, there was no Instagram, there was no emails, there was no nothing. The only thing you could do, get on the three-way and just tell it to each other. But Wiley is the first person in the history of True Church of Holiness that is using social media to tell his story. No other members did it. They gossip with each other. They never post about it publicly. Brother Wiley. And like I told my mother, and she said, I can't tell you what to do. You grown. I don't know why they keep calling me. I can't top you. We just getting our relationship back together. So, because they will call her, tell them to stop, and I would get worse. So I never stop. I'll always share my story because my message is if I just touch one person to avoid church hurt, I've done my job. If I can tell a brother or a sister that was shunned because of who they love and what they love, that it's okay to know that you can tell somebody. Don't keep it a secret. Expose it. Because in order for the system to change, you got to expose the system of dysfunction. There is no need to bottle it up because it's going to eat you up inside. It's going to affect your relationships. It's going to affect you all over until you release it or tell your doctor, your psychiatrist, or whoever. You don't have to go publicly to social media. No. But there's nothing wrong with going to your doctor or your psych doctor or your psychiatrist or your counselor to tell them your experience. And if you want to write a book or a documentary or share your story, there is nothing wrong with you sharing your story. If you are going through that, there is nothing wrong with doing that. If you want to share your story, you can share it. And I am sharing mine. And the reason why I'm sharing it is because I am helping my nieces come up so they don't have to experience the hurt that their uncle had to experience. And people say, whoa, people ain't coming to church no more. Because the church, and some churches, the local church, some parts of the church are just as worse than the world. And that's facts. Some churches are so bad, you would have came out better staying on the corner. You would have came out better staying out there on the street. So some churches are terrible on how they handle things. The most gossip, backbiting happens in the church. So I'm not against going. And so now as a mature 32-year-old man, I go there, I hear the word, I give my offering, and whew, I'm out of there. I ain't trying to make no friends. I ain't trying to get I go there, I sit at Transformation Center, I hear the word, I sing, I worship, I give my money, and I leave. I'm out of there. That's exactly what I do at 32 years old. Go there, hear the word, I'm out of there. Looking at the preacher, getting the word, whoosh. I'm not trying to get too involved until I know this is something, a safe place. So when I experienced that, I said, Lord, I'm going to share my story. Doing it for your glory. And I'm sharing it. More doors have opened up. More people are receiving the help. They are listening to the help. More people are this way. And I thank God for y'all. Because y'all is my congregation. Thank you. Thank you for listening to that part. Now, I don't know what made me get to that subject, but I know it is somebody that's hearing it and is registering to you today. And you experience that hurt. And I want to tell you that you are not by yourself. That if you do the tools to get help, you can get through it. It's painful, it's a work, and it is a process. I'm not all the way healed yet, but I am in a better place than I was a couple of years ago. I'm in a better place. I'm way better than I was. I'm more mature now. And I am a working progress. Thank you. We're going to get to these subjects. This is our introduction. Thank you, everybody, for cash apping us, for sending Zelle as well, wileyshow@gmail.com. Also, everybody sent the PayPal, and also everybody was doing it as well. Thank you. Jackie said this. She said, I have different scenario, but same hurt. I feel you on that. All right. Okay. So they said exactly the gossiping bishop. Oh, wow. Somebody said this. God is not through with me yet. Healing, therapy, and meditation. Come on now. All right, let's get to these subjects. I just had to open up with that. I had to open up with that. I don't care how mad you get. Because it's my story. And I'm going to share my story. All right? Thank y'all so very much for that. Now, let's dive into the topics here. We're going to dive into these topics because it's definitely to dive into. We got on the docket King Jives. Y'all know King Jives is a blogger that been out here blogging, and he is a member, used to be an elder in the Kojic Church. And you see here on the screen Bishop Wayne, Mr. Bishop Wayne Felton, is suing our brother with the crown on his head, King Jives. And so we have the court documents here, and of course, we're going to get more involved in this, but we have what we could gather. And so the complaint is, it reads as follows. Plaintiffs, Wayne individual, the Holy Christian Church International, a complaint against the defendant, I'm going to just say his stage name, King Jives, okay? And they allege as follows. Plaintiff Bishop Wayne is the senior pastor of the Holy Christian Church International Church, or THCCI, based out of St. Paul, Missouri. He established the church 23 years ago in 2000, which have gone to over 4 campuses, which include the main campus, serving a racially and economically diverse population of believers in the Twin Cities, and additionally as an archbishop of the church, Bishop Fulton oversees the community of Holy Christian Church of over 550 churches administered around the world, including locations Democratic Republic of the Congo, Libya, and India, and Mexico. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay. It say, unfortunately, as the church has flourished and grown under Bishop Wayne leadership, he has become a target of social media influencer by the name of King Jives, who runs a platform under the name of Official King Jives and has over 88,000 subscribers on YouTube, 400 followers on Facebook, 20,000 followers on TikTok, 38,000 followers on Instagram. King Jives videos on YouTube range in a viewership from a few thousand views per video up to 1 million views. Jives' focus appears to be attacking Black Christian churches and Black Christian leaders, showing distinction and disruption within those churches. Bishop Fulton, or I'm going to say Bishop Wayne, I'm going to say his last name. I know Bishop Wayne. Bishop Wayne and the church fell victim to the defendant's smear campaign beginning in December 2022. When King Jive decided to report on an alleged scandal, and they say the S word, S-E-X scandal, involving Bishop Wayne, since then, King Jives has published numerous lengthy videos and social media posts containing widely false and defamatory accusations against the bishop, which include everything from an alleged grooming of women in the church for the S word, S-E-X-U-A-L affairs, to covertly and hypocritically engaging in homosexuality, to imply the P word, P-E-D, O, P-H-I-L-L-A, to allegations that the bishop exiled 2 female members from the church because they marry Muslim men. Of course, Jives knew that none of this is true, and it's maliciously designed to impugn the character and reputation of the bishop and drive people away from the church and increase viewership and followers of Jives' platform. And additionally, Bishop Wayne in the church chose to ignore the defendant's defamatory campaign, believing it's best not to respond to such overt lies, destruction of facts. However, defendants have been successful in an unlawful scheme to increase Jives' online profile at the expense of tearing down Bishop Wayne and the church. Thousands of people have watched, shared, commented on Jives videos of the plaintiffs. And the members have left the church in droves as a result. Bishop Wade's personal and professional reputation has been irreparably damaged, and King Jives continue to threaten to damage his reputation further. And additionally, Bishop Wayne and his wife have received harassing mail and threats from strangers who specifically referred to Jives videos and given them access to the letters online as a source of their anger. Angus, A-N-G-S-T, okay? The church has likewise have been defamed, suffering severe financial consequences, including losing hundreds of thousands of dollars and a vital contribution that allowed the church to fulfill its mission to serve the community and the poor. Jives and his company has been sued by other church leaders in other areas of the country in the past of similar conduct. However, King Jives appears to remain undeterred. Therefore, plaintiffs have no choice but to commence the action to obtain a court order enjoining the defendant's unlawful conduct and seeking damages for the harm defendants have inflicted on Bishop Wayne and the church. Plaintiff Bishop Wayne is the senior pastor of the Holy Christian Church and resides in St. Paul, Missouri. 7. The plaintiff, the Holy Christian Church International, is a nonprofit organization duly organized and existing under the laws of the state of Minnesota, and the principal place of business are located in St. Paul, Missouri. Defendant King Jives, an individual who have upon information and belief, they have his address here. We're going to say that. They said plaintiff Bishop Wade is the senior pastor of Holy Christian Church, reside in St. Paul, Missouri. 7, plaintiff, the Holy Christian Church Internationally is a nonprofit organization daily. Okay, I read that. Let me see. Do I have 8? Okay. Okay, they got. Okay, we ain't gonna say that. 9, the defendant King Jives Media LLC is a limited liability company organized under the law of the state of Florida. The defendant's King Jives, the sole member of King Jives Media. Therefore, King Jives Media is a citizen of the state of Florida. The jurisdictions and venue. The court has jurisdiction over the matter. They said 28 USC 1332 because the amount of the controversy exceeds $75,000. This is a civil action between citizens of different states. Bishop Wayne and the THCCI are citizens of the state of Missouri. 12, King Jive is a citizen of Florida, and King Jives Media, which is a citizen of the states in which the members are citizens, is a citizen of Florida. 13, therefore, for the purpose of the subject matter jurisdiction, there's a complete diversity of citizenship between the parties. 14, the venue is the proper in this court, 28 USC 1391, because a substantial part of the events and omission given rise to the claim occur in this district. 15, the court personal jurisdiction of Jives, because Jives intentionally defamed Bishop Wayne and the THCCI individual entity with whom Jives, known to be located in the state of Missouri. Such conduct was expressly aimed at Missouri. Minnesota. Expressly aimed at Minnesota citizens. It was committed with the knowledge of damage with the result of Bishop Wayne and THCCI in Minnesota. Indeed, both defendants were intentionally attempting to sow this distinction or destruction and harm to the church in Minnesota by engaging in Minnesota-based members of THCCI in these defamatory posts. 16, in addition, one information and belief defendants conduct business is Minnesota for and on the behalf of Minnesota business, including the Minnesota Community Technical College, several Church of God in Christ churches under Minnesota government officials. Moreover, on information and belief. The defendants advertised their business in Minnesota. Furthermore, King Jives has social media accounts that can be accessed by anyone around the world. Through these, believe the defendants advertise their business. Okay. Let's get to factual allegations. A. Bishop Wayne and THCCI. 17. Bishop Wayne is alumni of Tuskegee University, receiving his BA, his bachelor's degree in political science and English. He received his master's divinity. He went to a seminary school in Kentucky and graduated in 1996. Prior to founding THCCI, Bishop Wayne was a chaplain assistant at Tuskegee University from 1988 to 1992. He was a chaplain intern in the Federal Bureau of Prisons from 1995 to 1997 and worked at the staff chaplain overseeing religious groups and the resident population before ministry to resident and psychiatric ward and facility hospital. He was a football chaplain at the University of Minnesota from 2008 to 2010. 19. The Holy Church International was established as a racially diverse group whose principal aim was to fulfill the Great Commission as per the scripture and serve the need of the poor in Cenat and the Twin Cities and globally. 20. The THCCI was founded in 2000, beginning with 6 charter members, eventually grew and branched into several campuses and daughter churches in Rochester, New Orleans, Louisiana, and serve approximately 350 households from the St. Paul headquarters, and sponsors various community outreach events, church camps, and fellowship conferences in the Twin Cities. The church also televised nationally in Minnesota, Iowa, New York, and Virginia. B. King Jives. Jives is a social media influencer who has made a career in targeting religious leaders and churches throughout the United States, providing false narrative and making claims based on hearsay for internet likes and views. King Jives claims on his Facebook page that he is a content creator and a journalist that gets the news and the tea, but constantly makes statements that lack foundation for his claims. He operates 22. He operates several social media accounts under the alias of a King Jives Show and other stuff under United Kingdom Media, United Kingdom Ministries, official King Jives. Combined across play, he has over 100,000 followers and over 24 million views on his content. Jives is also a graphic designer and founder of the King Jives Media LLC, which provides services to clients across the country, including in Minnesota. 24. Jives' personal and business persona are closely intertwined. On his company website, www.demagio.com, Jives shares blog posts with slanderous titles promoting his Facebook Lives and YouTube video with allegations of misconduct against numerous pastors and religious organizations. The repeat posts demonstrate Jives' history of attacking religious leaders for further his popularity for economic gain. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. Let it simmer. Let that sink in. Give me a second. Let it sink in. Oh, let that sink in. Okay. Now let's continue. Jives defames Bishop Wayne and THCCI. 25. On December 9th, 2022, King Jives went live on his Facebook page under the name DEMARIO Q Jives, claiming that he had received information related to the allegation of the SEX scandal against Bishop Wayne. 26. In the video, Jives claimed he received a voicemail on November 23, 2023 regarding allegations against Bishop Wayne. He stated that he have gotten one side, I've gotten 2 letters from the other side, and police records and complaints or whatever. I'm going to tell y'all this. The statement is not true because Jives did not receive Bishop Wayne's side of the story regarding these allegations. In fact, while Jives and Bishop Wayne spoke briefly about this matter, Jives informed Bishop Wayne that, hold on, let me make sure I got it in here. Let me see. While the event, Bishop Wayne spoke briefly, Jives informed Bishop Wayne that he will not be publishing anything about the matter on his platform, and the conversation will be off the record. Because Jives attended the Holy Christian Church for a season of time, approximately a year, from 2011 to 2012, Bishop Wayne initially felt comfortable in speaking with Jives since he gave him the courtesy, informing him of the tip he received about the matter. And no time in their conversation did Bishop Wayne admit or confess to a SEX-UAL affair, contrary to what Jives proclaimed on his platform. So that said that, yeah, Bishop Wayne and King Jives talked privately, but according to this complaint, he never admit of having any relations, like that. Give me a second. Okay, 27. In the live video, King Jives accuses Bishop Wayne of SEX-UAL misconduct based on a letter he allegedly received from an anonymous source. Jives republished the letter and then expounded on the unfounded allegations in the letter, going over it line by line on the video, maliciously adding new allegations that had no support, for which he clearly did no investigation before publishing. 28. King Jives therefore republished the letter from the anonymous source without conducting an independent investigation to determine the truthfulness of the allegations in the letter. But more importantly, Jives did more than simply republish the letter, which was long-winded but short on allegations of Pacific SEX-UAL mixed conduct. Rather, Jives in the letter as a springboard to make a host of salacious and unfounded allegations about the bishop and his wife. Bishop and his family. 29. In the live video, Jives stated that Bishop Wayne's son also engaged in SEX-UAL misconduct. Specifically, Jives stated, because it's not only him, but it's his sons too. The video has received 3,500 views as of February 2023. These statements are untrue. 30 on December 9th, 2022. Jives further stated that Bishop Wayne engaged in homosexuality. He stated, quote, "Y'all preaching so hard against homosexuality only for y'all to get caught up in homosexuality," end quote. Again, this is an untruthful statement. During the same broadcast, King Jives falsely alleged that Bishop Wayne has a sensual interest in seeing, give me a second, videos of underage SEX-UAL activity. That's why I be trying to tell you right now, y'all want to talk about some homosexual and the P word, PEDOPHILE, question. I am a homosexual and I don't want to see no child. Hello. I don't want to see no child. In the statement, Jal insinuated to his audience that Bishop Wayne was a homosexual and a PEDOPHILE, which are completely, utterly false allegations. 31. On December 10th, 2023, King Jives posted another YouTube video under the account Official King Jive titled Certified Detail, Minnesota Will Never Be the Same. In the video, King Jive stated that members of the THCCI were commenting in the chat rooms in connection with prior videos he posted, stating that they were going ham, spewing the rhetoric that your pastor was preaching being hateful and being evil. The video has received over 6,200 views as of February 2023. The statement is false because none of the THCCI members typed any comments in the live chat for the video. However, this statement was made by King Jives in order to disrupt the church operations and so division among its members. 32. On the same day, King Jive stated that y'all slept with that woman's husband, referring to Bishop Wayne. The statement is false because Bishop Wayne never had an SEXUAL relationship with the woman reference, nor did she ever say he did. The video was watched by at least 6,263 people. On December 11, 2023, King Jive posted a YouTube video under the account Official King Jive titled PT2 Certified Detail Bishop Wayne / Minnesota Will Never Be the Same, stating he spoke to Bishop Wayne. 34. In the video, King Jives claims that Bishop Wayne made homophobic remarks towards him and that Bishop Wayne was aware that King Jive was going to go live after the conversation he stated. Bishop knows, this is a quote, Bishop knows about all of this, and he already know that I was going to do this live, end quote. This is another untruthful statement because Bishop Wayne was aware Jives was intending to make a video. Bishop Wayne was unaware that King Jives was intending to make a video after the conversation. To the contrary, King Jive assured Bishop Wayne he will not be publicizing the conversation. To Bishop Wayne's surprise, King Jives texts him during his live broadcast to inform him of it by saying, so just an FYI, it's public, so I'm going to talk about it. Okay? I'm just trying to figure out how to talk about this. I'm really lost and trying to make this look good. So subsequently, the video received over 12,000 views across King Jive's Facebook profile, United Kingdom Ministries, and official King Jive's YouTube page. 35. Also, December 11, 2023, Jive stated when Bishop Wayne was at his previous church as a youth pastor, the same type of act was going on. Hello, not only was the same type of act was going on, but the bishop said that white folks at the church. Give me a second. Okay. That white folks Okay, I want to read this again. On December 2023, Jay said when Bishop Wayne was at his previous church as a youth pastor, the same act was going on. Hold on, not only was that type of act going on, but Bishop Wayne and the white folks at the church were trying to run him out, and they didn't want a black for a black man in charge. This statement is false because Bishop Wayne was never the youth pastor at another church and never made comments King Jives attributes to him. This YouTube video has observed by 7,396 people. And additionally, he falsely stated that Bishop Wayne's wife had to know what was going on and was an enabler of the alleged activity. This is a false, misleading statement. And then in 36, in the days that followed, Jives continued releases to defame Bishop Wayne of the church. On December 15, 2020, Jives posted another video, newsroom Bishop J.D. Shear, $12 million. And in that video, he decided to drag Bishop Wayne with defamatory statements. Okay, now 37, December 18, 2022. King Jives posted a video on Facebook entitled DeMario Q Jives was live with Diva Doll Judona, Judona. In that video, King Jives suggested that Bishop Wayne is grooming other women in the congregation for SEXUAL misconduct. Specifically, he stated that there's another Marquita now. I guess she's at the church now. She's over there with Bishop now. All of a sudden, her and two other women are the prophets. Amen. The statement is false because Marquita, a member of THCCI, is not being groomed for SEXUAL misconduct, nor has she ever stated that she is no longer a member of the church. The video has been viewed on Facebook by 5,500 people. 38. On December the 26th, 2022, King Jives posted another video entitled Tory Lanez Guilty, Kojic Bishop J. Jew Shear, Scandal Bishop Wayne, Michelle and Barack Obama on the official King Jives pages. He claimed Bishop Wayne was his friend publicly, but crucified me at his church for being homosexual. King Jives accuses other members of THCCI of making homophobic statements as well. This is not true because Bishop Wayne have never dispurged DISPIRAGED Jives nor mention his name from the pulpit. The YouTube video has received over 7,900 views. 39. On January 5th, 2023, Jives went live on Facebook and made further untrue statements about Bishop Wayne alleged comments regarding homosexuality. Specifically, Jives stated, you got Wayne right now standing up in the church when he supposed to be sitting down, standing up in the church, talking about, let me see if I have that. Okay, I'm in the church. He's supposed to be sitting down, set up in his church, talking about we bastard people were going straight to hell. The statement is untrue because Bishop that I've done that. So that's what it's pretty much said. Hold on, let me see. Okay. So I say 40. That video got 2,400 views. 40. Even today, defendants continue to defame the plaintiffs. For example, on defendants' website, www.demajio.com, Jives featured a post entitled "The S Word, SEX, Adultery in the Pulpit, Office in Minnesota Church, THCCI, Bishop Wayne." Once again, even the title of this post is defamatory as it contains statements of fact that are untrue. 41. The impact of the defendant's unlawful public crusade against Bishop Wayne and the THCCI has been devastating. Bishop Wayne's personal and professional reputation has been considerably damaged. He has spent the past several months attempting to disprove allegations and have no basis in fact or reality, and seeking to repair the damage inflated upon the church integrity, his name, and the negative physical impact due to members leaving in direct response of false statements. Bishop Fulton, I'm going to say Bishop Wayne because I want to mess up his last name. Bishop Wayne has been further damaged emotionally, suffering from embarrassment, humiliation, due to the widespread viewership of the broadcast, coupled with the insistence upon making the letters downloadable on several mediums. On 43, the church also has been damaged due to disruption, confusion, and the loss of more than 50% of his members, along with the loss of more than 65% of his financial contributions. Indeed, the financial damage have required THCCI to liquidate assets in order to remain current. The ministerial operations. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. Plaintiffs bring the action because unless the court orders defendants to stop their defamatory, malicious, harassing, and cyberbullying conduct, this will only continue and the plaintiffs will be further damaged. 45. Plaintiffs seek not only to injunction relief through the actions, but also damages for the harm caused by the defendants. 46. The plaintiffs incorporated by the reference of all paragraphs in the complaint, defendants Jives, and on the behalf of himself, on the behalf of others, defendants are making these defamatory statements. 48. Defendants have published numerous false, misleading representation statements and commentary about the plaintiff. This include A, falsely stating that Jives have received Bishop Wayne's side of the story before initially publishing the alleged SEX scandal, whereas Jives have admitted to communicated that Bishop Wayne did not, that he didn't know the side of the story, that he understood the conversation was off the record. So, wow. Give me 1 second, you guys. One second. Give me 1 second. Because my phone is blowing up. Hold on 1 second. Let me get this phone call real quick. This the bishop. Okay. Thank you. Let me get my commentary. And I don't speak for Bishop Wayne. I don't speak for Bishop Wayne or the THCCI church. But what I'm speaking for is that King Jives is a pathetic man. King Jives called me about Larry Reed. And he said Larry did it to his godson. He took and snatched the cookies of my godson. And I said, King Jives, what happened? Oh, because they all lived there. I said, who all lived there? They were all church kids. Levantre, my godson, he did it, Wiley. And I didn't want to continue it because I don't want to get sued. I didn't want no lawsuit. We recorded it, and then King Jives said, are you recording? I said, no. Recorded the entire exchange. We posted it on the Wiley Show. We posted that conversation because he said that Larry D. Reed violated my godson. He was underage. I stayed silent. And then when I spoke about it, I was threatened by Larry Reed with a lawsuit. And then I said, well, Larry sent you a $500. That was strange. She sent me that $500. Why? I don't want nothing to do with it. I don't want nothing to do with it. Okay? So he was saying all this to God, son, Levontre, and all of this. And I'm like, I was texting somebody that know Bishop Wayne and know these, people in the circle. I said, that's quite strange that King Jives is coming for Bishop Wayne. He ain't had nothing to say about Larry Reed when a victim actually went on the record and said that Larry touched him. That a victim named Levontre told Tasha in part 1 and 2, and his mama and brother said he was touched by Larry, and King Jives had nothing to say. He was silent. He did not do any videos at all. Didn't put Larry in the title. He didn't put breaking news to expose the wicked behavior of Dr. Larry Reed. He said nothing. And I told his sister, you know why he didn't say nothing? She said, why? Because Larry paid him, gave him 500 super chats, and he stayed silent. As she said, she said, do he know who you are? I said, yes. He was just on my show a couple of weeks ago. I sent it to her. When we had Pastor Marquise on the show, because they friends, and King Jives came on the show. A couple weeks after that, he got sued. And the lady was asking me, said, do you think Bishop Wayne is right to sue? I said, tell him to sue him. Take all his resources. Because what he went wrong, he did interview no victim of Bishop Wayne. They ain't come on camera. Levontre situation is different. You know why Larry didn't sue Levontre? It's because Levontre got witnesses. He got his mama. He got his brother. He got Tasha. And she did not do what Daryl Moore did. She brought Levontre on her platform on camera. King Jive stayed silent. When Larry Reed sued Levontre, under the help of Mr. Ponder, Brian L. Ponder, Levontre called him. He couldn't afford to hire Mr. Ponder, but Mr. Ponder said, this is the paperwork you fill out to respond to Larry Reed lawsuit. So Levontre filed all that legal paperwork to challenge Larry Reed, and Larry Reed ran like a coward and dropped the lawsuit. King Jive stayed silent. Larry Reed got accused of a crime of doing fellatio on a 15-year-old boy, Levontre. King Jives stayed silent. Larry Reed addressed the allegations on his YouTube channel, was blocking people on the YouTube. King Jives stayed silent. Larry Reed decided to take it to Patreon and bring his ex-wife, bring Sharmarco and other church members. King Jive stayed silent. He did not make a post. He did not put it in the title. He did not call Levontre. He did not interview Levantre's mother. He did not interview Levantre's brother. He stayed silent. So I told this sister, he is a hypocrite, because if he's for victims, why wasn't he was there for Levontre? When Levontre is not like these victims of, he claimed, of Bishop Wayne, Levontre came out and said this happened. This situation with King Jives and Bishop Wayne, not one victim did a sit-down interview. There is a letter, but anybody can type up a letter on on Word document. Nobody came on the record. There is no interview of a member. Make sure I give that church some clout. Give me a second. Let me scroll in these court documents. There is no member of the THCCI. Not one have sat down with King Jives and told them about their pastor. What King Jives did with that crown on his head, decided to take hearsay and take it as facts. And then King Jives went over to Conscious TV. Conscious, under the leadership of Larry Reed, raised $1,000 for his legal defense fund. Larry did not join the live. Larry told Conscious, according to my source, he don't want nothing to do with it. He ain't involved. Leave him out of it. He ain't coming on the live. He ain't make no posts. He stayed silent. He didn't donate. He ain't coming to chat. He ain't do none of that. And you know why Larry Reed didn't do it? Because Larry know that if I open up Pandora's box, I'm going to get sued by Bishop Wayne because I got allegations with Levante. He stayed silent. He brought his mentee with the pink wig and allowed him to raise money, and Larry Reed made it clear to his staff, I have nothing to do with this. And Larry have distanced himself. Larry Reed have not made a statement. Larry Reed have not put out a PSA. They have raised $1,000+ Conscious gave $1,000 of Larry Reed's money because Conscious is an employee under Larry Reed. He may not be under the paperwork, but he get paid under the table to do Larry Reed dirty work. And Larry Reed see it all. So when the lawsuit happened, Brother Wiley stayed silent. Brother Wiley did the research. Brother Wiley watched the video. I stayed silent on purpose so I can get all the facts. I said, I got it. I'm ready to address it today. I said, tell Bishop Wayne, come to the Wiley Show. I'm about to wake it up. Because King Jives deserved to be sued because he have no witness to back up his claims. Show me one witness, sir, on camera with evidence from the THCCI to back up your claims. King Jives was so dirty. He got on the live with on the phone with Bishop Wayne, and Bishop Wayne is telling him that he's innocent. And he said, this is off the record. King Jives said, went live and dragged it for a click and a view. He decided to, he contacted Bishop Wayne. They talked on November the 26th for 40 minutes. And on December 9th at 3:56 p.m., King Jive sent this Instagram message to Bishop Wayne. And he said this quote, "Hey, Bishop, listen. I am no one's judge or jury. I get seen this letter." He meant to say, I just seen this letter. But he said, I get seen this letter in police record. I just have to ask, how did this even get to this? Bishop, you can't preach like you preach and got bones hidden. You have to be more careful. I love you, though. I'm serious. Bishop responded December the 9th, 4:34 p.m. with this response. Police record? Question? Yes, this is crazy. What in the world going on? And then the bishop said, Bishop Wayne, quote, I seriously don't know about a police record. Clarified? No response. So they get on the phone. King Jives texts Bishop Wayne why he lied. I'm going to do this and do this. I got to get this off my chest. And just blasted Bishop Wayne without giving his statement, without being unbiased, just went there for facts. And now he's sued. Now King Jives is hurt that he have to spend thousands of dollars. He don't have it. He was so hurt. Thank you. Because he felt like Larry Reed should give him $50,000, $60,000 to defend him because he stayed silent with Levante and Larry did not return his phone calls. King Conscience was only able to give a couple of thousand, but that ain't enough for this type of lawsuit. He want more money. Larry stayed silent. Larry was upset with Brother Conscious and told his people, this is why we have to distance, and the members in his congregation, in his inner circle, said you must distance yourself with him because you're trying to clean up your brand. You must distance yourself. And one person used a derogatory term to describe King Jives. In so many words, we can't have this type of behavior. This is giving F-word behavior. We can't have that. You're trying to rebuild your brand. And that's why King Jives, Larry, have not returned your phone calls. And so I have Bishop Wayne back 1,000%. Bishop Wayne have not been arrested. Bishop Wayne have not been charged. Bishop Wayne have not got nothing from the prosecutor. Bishop Wayne, other than Larry, have no investigation. Larry Reed got an open investigation, not Bishop Wayne, because we called the Minnesota police. No investigation for Bishop Wayne or his church. No investigation. So King Jives is shocked and upset that he was sued. Oh, I'm so mad. I don't know what's going on. He doing it because okay. He ain't doing it because you lay on your back with man. Your behavior of trying to be a Barbara Walters and a Wendy Williams got you something that you can't cash. You tried to be like your mentor, Larry Reed, and got sued because, according to Larry, like he said, you don't have for supporters like that you can raise 80, 90, 100,000. Larry Reed can. Larry Reed can go to his congregation right now and say, y'all, I'll show them my glory. We need to raise $80,000. Yes, sir. I need 5,000 people to give me 10,000. Before he closes his eyes and eat his breakfast is in this account. Zelle, PayPal, and the prophets will speak to you. He have givers that will give. You, sir, don't have it. You have what I have, viewers. You don't have financial way where you can get up and say, let's raise, I need to raise 50,000. We don't have that. I'm putting me in it because I ain't got it either. I can't get up here and say, let's raise $5,000. People look at me like, oh, I ain't got it. Well, I got to do that. But Larry, Hashan and Akandala can get up here and he can raise it and some. If I was Larry's friend and defended Brother Larry and trashed Levantre, Larry can say, you want to go to California? I got it. He go 10,000. Go there and cover that trial. But I couldn't sleep right because I know by Levantre words that he was abused. So keep that money. Keep it. But I knew if I would have trashed Levantre, I knew if I would have dogged his mama, I knew if I would have dogged his brother, Larry would have given me thousands of dollars. But I said, nope, you can keep it. I'm going to speak for you. And if I got to work triples, I'd rather do it in peace than to be part of your criminal enterprise by silencing your victims with your cash. I'm just not going to be a part of it. So what did Brother Wiley do? I cut ties with Larry Reed. I blocked him from social media. I withdraw my support from his Patreon. I went public. I dragged him. Too bad I dragged him so that brother, oh, Larry, he flew in Armon, went to Storm Monroe house. He was so shaken that Wiley is coming on me hard. Tasha coming on me hard. I got to clear my name. They believe in these allegations. So he went and got Armon Wiggins, flew him down to Georgia. Never flew him down, never met Armon a day in his life. and went to Storm Monroe's house. They thought it was going to be an impact. So he get there, King Jives silent. Didn't bring conscience. He stayed at home. He didn't even know what was going on. He had to watch like everybody else. So we there. We listening on our computer watching them live. I'm media, right? I get my notebook and pen to take my notes. It was so not done in the right spirit that the connection went off. Storm was so excited that he had Larry and Armon there. He snatched the cord out of the Blue Yeti. So a couple of minutes, there was no sound. It was so bad that they were stuck in a little corner. It was so bad that Armon was so nervous that he slipped the liquor out of his hand, all on the floor. They were all nervous. Then they start talking about sex. Now, mind you, you are here to clear up allegations that you did not violate a teenage boy, but you abandoned that and wanted to know about Storm Breadbasket. You wanted to know that Armon have to watch adult entertainment every morning. It went for, are you a top? Are you a bottom? You like to lick it. You like to lap it. Then Brother Storm, Larry Reed wanted to say Brother Wiley name. Storm Monroe, who have been questioned about him being on the down low, came on the Wiley Show, was on Two Man and a Lady, in my chat multiple times, told Larry Reed, don't say no names. Don't give no full clout. Don't give no clout. Went out of his way. And Larry said, oh, okay. I ain't gonna say no name. Didn't say no name. Because he wanted to say my name. You hear that? So we ended talking. It ended. I went live. I dragged it. It was trash. And Armon, let's go back. He stood up and said, brother, you helped me with my suit. You innocent. He hugged her. Oh, you so innocent. You didn't do nothing wrong. Oh, you innocent. Oh, Storm said, oh, you innocent too. And hugged him. Armon did not do, neither did Storm. They do diligence to say, we got to talk about Levantre. They took Larry Reed's side because he got the money. And Armon said, you helped me remodel my studio. You didn't do it, brother. I'm going to hug you. He gave him a hug. They left. Conscious, the mentee was hurt. Brother went live. He didn't like it that his mentor was sitting with his ops. I just learned that word. The young folks say ops. He was sitting with his ops. His ops is Armon. He get along with so he was sitting with his ops, and you wasn't invited at the table. So King Jives got up at his computer, and he cried. Oh yes, he cried. He cried because I wasn't invited. I'm hurt because I didn't get invited. I'm so hurt they didn't invite me to the table. I did all this backbiting. I did all this women for Larry Reed. I'm hurt. You sat with my ops. I'm hurt. They said, why he crying? I said, he cried because he didn't get invited to the party. He's so hurt. Oh, he was hurt. Crying. Then Armon dragged him for filth. You got dragged. But your mentor co-signed Armon Wiggins. But you can't say nothing. You can't drag him and really drag like want you because your mentor sat with him and flew him there before he flew to see you. You worked hard for Larry. But Larry showed you, I'm just using you. You my slave. just to promote me. But when it's time to go to these churches, when it's time to go to these conferences, when it's time to be with Bishop Bernard Jordan, when I'm eating with Sir Marco, when I'm meeting the leaders and meeting the stakeholders, you're not invited. We don't want your kind here. We don't have people with pink wigs and looking like they're a witch. You're not invited, but we will deal with you, brother Conscious. And when we have a narrative, we will go at the nighttime and come see you. But when I'm doing business, when I'm on the BET, when I'm on the BET scene, I ain't bringing you nowhere. You ain't invited. You ain't invited. Your sole purpose, we will give you laptops, condoms, lube, cars, and your sole job is to defend me. I don't care if I'm wrong. I'm right. That is your job. And King Jives stay silent. And Larry Reed remind Conscious every day of his place. So back to King Jives. He supposed to be a king, but he picked on the wrong man of God. And that man of God said, wait a minute, I got to sue this brother. And he sued him. Bishop Wayne lost memberships and he went to work and sued King Jives. Sued him. Now King Jives is trying to get financial help. Can't call his mama because mama in prison for fraud. He want to call mama, but mama can't do nothing because she need you to put money on her books. Because mama, King Jives' mother, is in prison for fraud. She took advantage of homeless, supposed to be helping the homeless, feeding them, took all that money and spent it on wigs, purses, her personal property and cars, and she's in prison today. Then he got a beef with Bishop Whitehead. Bishop Whitehead sued him and said you cooperated with the 12, with the feds to lock up your mama. And even Bishop Whitehead have sued Larry Reed and King Jives. So in my close in this subject, before we get to our last subject, the reason why Larry Reed have shifted his commentary from salacious commentary of dragging preachers and exposing preachers and all this, because he had a story about E. Dewey Smith. And the woman said that she was violated by them over there. And Bishop E. Dewey Smith sued, Larry Reed, put a restraining order. Other churches sued. He got all these, had to spend all this money. Olga lost the lawsuit. Then Olga had to clean it up in appeal. He was have to spend money. So one day he said, I got to change it because it's good for views, but I'm always in court because these so-called victims recant their story and leave Larry Reed hanging to the side. So Larry Reed got caught taking a payout, cash payment from Bishop E. Dewey Smith and got exposed. And in the court paperwork, he said, I'll give the money back because Bishop E. Dewey Smith said, I'm going to hire you as a consultant. Larry Reed took the money and he had, what's that girl, Cynthia, not Cynthia, what's her name? Phaedra Parks was his lawyer. And he took the consulting money from a man that posed to be abusing women. Larry took that man money and got exposed and said, I'll get the money back. Because it was an agreement that you can't speak ill will about Bishop E. Dewey. And then he started speaking ill will. And then Bishop had to sue him. And then he had to pay more money. And then he stopped. That's what happened. So what King Jives should have done, he should have listened and watched Larry Reed and seen the shift in his commentary and followed the blueprint. Because now Larry, all he still got the church thing on Patreon. They pray, they prophesy, they do prayer calls to raise money. And they talk about celebrity gossip story. Rarely do Larry Reed talk about a pastor took advantage of a member, all that. He rarely do Larry Reed do that. Because he understands that if I do that, these preachers is going to take me to court. And then he stopped doing it because he got allegations. And that happened with Bishop Whitehead. He bothered Bishop Whitehead. Him and a lady, they started laughing at Bishop Whitehead when he was robbed. And Bishop Whitehead said, well, sir, you let me get robbed? You got these allegations. And Bishop Whitehead interviewed Levante, got Levante a lawyer. And then Tasha K got the information from Bishop Whitehead and really looked at it and interviewed Bishop Whitehead. And Larry Reed haven't been the same since. And he's been sued by Bishop Whitehead and served by Bishop Whitehead, sued for millions. And then he tell Conscious, drag Bishop Whitehead. But Conscious don't have enough of an impact to drag Bishop Whitehead. Bishop Whitehead got money. Regardless of how he got it, that's his business. And yes, Bishop Whitehead is went to jail and went to prison, and also he got other charges, and he's been sued by the U.S. by the U.S. government. All right, so he got his own issues, but while all that, he's still suing folks. So that's what him. All right. So King Jives talked about Bishop Whitehead picking up a bone for Larry, trying to do what Larry do, and got sued. And then got another lawsuit with Bishop Wayne. So now you got two lawsuits. Got all them lawsuits that you got to spend money and answer to. Because you tried to follow the footsteps of your daddy Larry and fell flat on your face. Fell flat on your face. All right, so let's move on. I told you we're gonna put on the show today. All right, he sat with his ops. Oh, he said, let's move on. All right. How y'all doing? Woo, thank ya. If you want to be a member, join today. The membership thing is out there. I pinned it in the comments. So if you want to join the comments, you can. Because we did pin it in the show, the comments. So if you want to join and say, I want to join this, we pinned it in the comments. So if you want to join, say, hey, I want to join today. And that's one of the perks. You can be in the comments. Amen. If you can't, just watch in the bushes and you leave a comment afterwards, or you can leave a super chat. We will read your comment on the air, and then we will drop the link if you want to respond. All right. We all ask when we drop this link, do not use profanity or you're going to be booted off the air and banned. All right. So here we go. We're going to be talking about Tasha K. We're going to be talking about Armon Wiggins and myself. So let's first start with Tasha K. Tasha K have removed and fired 2 of her moderators. And we posted on WileyTheTroll.com. In the documentation, they both claim that Tasha removed them because, quote, y'all working with Wiley, and they were removed. And Tasha was very upset with Brother Wiley, cussed me out, and wanted me to remove the post. I respectfully declined. Because I said, Tasha, I ain't removing nothing because you didn't remove that about Cardi until you were sued. Nor did you remove that about anybody else that you talked to. You got to understand, when you interview and recorded Latasha husband, you didn't remove it. So you don't control me ever. You ain't my husband. You ain't my wife. I ain't your husband. I ain't listening to you. No, I don't care what you say. It's staying up. Do you got a comment? We can update it with your comment. She said, blankety blank blank. She ain't got no comment. That's our blankety blank comment, and hung up the phone. And we got that video up. Not video up, I'm sorry. We got it up on the website of what these 2 moderators is accusing Tasha K of doing. And I'm hearing that other people want to speak up as well. And we got an email address, wileyshow@gmail.com, if you want to email us some information. Okay. And no, none of her moderators get paid at all. So she treated them like employees when in fact they are volunteers. But she required them to not work with certain platforms, but other moderators work with other platforms. But it's just like when you work with Wiley, it is an issue. One of their moderators work and moderate for Storm. It wasn't an issue, but it's an issue for Brother Wiley. And then what makes it so sad, one of the moderators reached out to Tasha and her employee, and they said, go reach out to another moderator. And then that other moderator is upset and sad that this has happened, that her name is being dragged because Tasha told them to reach out to her, and now they're blaming Tasha and her. The moderator is blaming, the former moderator is blaming one of the moderators of Tasha K's show, that she's in the mess. And I tell moderators, stay in your lane. Don't get too personal with those people. You can go and meet these people. Don't get too close unless you get paid. Now, if you on salary, that's different. If you get too close for free, you're going to get hurt. So one of the moderators, she started a group, a group chat on IG. They removed her. The employee typed to that. She's been relieved of her duties. They relieved her, blocked her from the group chat that she started, replaced her with another moderator that Tasha told them to go reach out to. She have replaced her in the group chat. And she was hurt. She was mad. She was hurt. She held on to the receipt since April 1st, and she sent it to me on April the 19th. So, that's how that go. Now, that was that. And she was mad and angry at Wiley because we put it out. And I said, you always can come out on the show and give a statement. You come out on the show and give a statement. So all the names is being discussed on www.wileytroll.com. We have it up there. Okay. So that was that. So now let's move to Armon Wiggins. One of my colleagues, all these are my colleagues. Brother was on Neek's show last night. And actually yesterday during the day. And it was Neek because a little backstory, you guys, Milagro was extremely upset that Neek did not credit her name, that Neek did an interview with the slave master great-great-granddaughter, Megan Cunha, and took Megan Cunha's side and decided not to give credit to Milagro. And she said, oh, homegirl, she did not put respect on Milagro. So Milagro came on my show that evening or night, and we did a 2-hour interview. Then yesterday, because of the impact of the Wiley Show, went viral. Armon rushed to get Milagro and Neek on the phone. Before that, they was calling each other bees and everything else, right? So he rushed to get them on the phone. So Armon, Neek at night, Milagro, Grabs were on a 3-way phone call, and they talked. And then Armon rushed to the internet to say these words. We're to make sure we quote him correctly, because I don't want to put a public post that he made. We want to make sure that we quote him directly. He said this quote: just got off the phone with Milagro and Neek. Everything is bliss. Black media coming together. We love to see it. So Neek went live and said Armon mediated a conversation. She did not put Milagro in the title, number one. So I joined. I was requested by the people to join. I said, drop the link. And she said, Armon, you want me to drop the link? Armon was like, oh, this your show. You could drop the link. I show up. Armon Wiggins ran for his life as though he had some type of diarrhea or something. He just ran. got off camera, ran, and he didn't give a reason why. He did not address me. He ran off the camera. Me and Neek was on camera. I was on camera first, and I took myself off camera. And then Neek said, "I want to see you on camera." And I said, "No, I just got to my talking points. Put some respect on people's name. If you're gonna talk about them, name they name, sus." Kept the same energy, and the chat was on my side. So I get off the air. Then Armon come back. No, Nick said, "Come back on camera, Armon. Get back up here, Armon." So Armon hit the link again, came back. And then the comments was on my side. And everybody said, "Bring Wiley back. He bringing the views. Bring him back." So Milagro come. She don't come on camera. Neither did she post a picture. You just hear her voice. Right? Milagro didn't show herself on camera. Neither did she post a picture. You only see Neek and you see Armon on camera. All right? She talking. You could tell that she was greatly disturbed, that she did not agree with this meetup because it's all fake. But she's just going to play nice. But it was all fake. So then the caller started to call in. And one of the callers said, "Well, what's the problem with Wiley saying by giving credit to a person's name? Why not?" And our mom was like, no, didn't want to say the name. Neek was upset because she mentioned Wiley's name. They pushed her off the air. They pushed her off the air. They booted her off the air because she said Wiley. She said Wiley's name. So they booted her off the air. Okay? I'll make sure that to sink in. They booted her off the air. Give me a second. So a viewer of Neek comment this. I don't know if it was Milagro or not. We didn't see her face or a picture. But a viewer comment this, quote, "Neek, I have to say I'm disappointed in you for allowing Armon the catfish to run your show. When the caller came up and said Wiley's name, Armon immediately took over the show and said, 'Oh no.' And the caller got off. You sat there and did nothing. And let that happen on your show. The subscribers and callers are the reason YouTubers even have a platform. You could be big today and small tomorrow. Never get too cocky. Never let anyone come on your show and intimidate your supporters. I have never and never will be a supporter of Armon. However, I managed to sit through his fakeness. But when he made the caller drop off, I was disgusted. And even more disturbed that you let it happen. You should apologize to that caller. I saw your true colors through all of this, and I unsubscribed and withdraw my support." And Neek said, "Girl, you've been talking ish about me on several videos, running with lies. You always your support in so many words." She said she don't care. So that was that. You know. Then on yesterday at 4:41 p.m., April the 19th, 2023. Armon said this on his Twitter, quote, "I try not to block people. However, when you deliberately want to see me fail, it's important that I block you. Certain energy is not allowed in my space." That's what he said. And he blocked me from Twitter and Instagram. He unblocked me and blocked me, right? No one asked him to unblock me. We didn't request him to unblock me. He did it on his own, and he re-blocked me. And I'm going to give you my reasons why. So while we was getting record-breaking ratings on Station Head, Armon was live for about 2 hours doing our broadcast. We didn't drop in views. We had a lot of people in there. We didn't drop. He thought we was going to leave and listen. Nope. We're going to wait till you get done and take our notes. So one of my viewers told me the times. I really don't need the time step because I love listening to the entire thing so I don't miss nothing. So I was there and he was addressing me. He said, I am not sitting on camera with you. You haven't worked hard enough. I am a premium B word. You can talk with this avatar. I tried to talk with you for years. You make fun of me trying to rebrand and said I'm not spiritual. You want to battle. You want me to give you press. I cannot sit around you. You would never have a conversation. It's Armon to me. You would never have a conversation with me again. After this, you are back blocked. You are weird and you're intimidated and you think that I'm intimidated by you. That's weird. He said, the proof is in the pudding that I'm better than you, get more views than you. He said, y'all talk about my music, but at least I got music. And you talking about Lotto, but you can't break half of the revenue a month that I accumulate on YouTube. And you said half the time you wait for me to post on YouTube so you can go live and get some clicks and views. You was on Nick at Night. That's Nick. I don't let everybody get on camera with me. You got to be a popping B word. I really don't know you. It's been years. I haven't discussed you in months, in years. MFer, you are obsessed and you never going to get over it. I'll talk about you on station here. You will never get me to come on camera. I'm never sitting on camera with you, Wiley, again. I will never do this. I'm not sitting with you. There is no beef. There is nothing to make up. I was able to have peace. The reason is I'm unbothered. I really don't care. I have to protect my energy. We were live several times. I apologize to Wiley. And I know his mental health wasn't there. He goes on this rant. I apologize when I interviewed your mother. You told me I called you not to talk about Jason Lee. And you did, and you thought that I said, don't talk about Jason Lee because you don't want me to grow. You thought I didn't want you to grow. He said, Wiley is mad and hurt. He said, Wiley holds on to grudges. They asked Armon, did you buy Armon Wiggins' domain? They asked Armon, did you buy Wiley domain? He said, no. He said, Wiley's a flip-flopper. No, he said to a viewer, you're a flip-flopper. You've been in my DMs. You want to see my P word to a viewer that had my back. And he said to the viewer, you be in my DMs. You want to see my private part. You send me messages and DMs. But this person tried to play their cards right. They play their cards right. Then he said, I wanted to move Wiley to California to be my co-host. I'm glad I didn't. He said, he answered allegations. He said, quote, I am not talking to Tasha K. I don't have Tasha K number. I haven't talked to Tasha K in probably 2 years. He said, the last time I talked to Tasha K, I cussed her out. That's what he said. We want to respond to Armon Wiggins. I want to bring some things up and make it clear. Number one, I want to address when he interviewed my mother, he never was sincere with an apology, never called me privately with an apology. That never happened. He wasn't sincere. He have never, ever invited me to move to California. It was brought up. He never made the thing for me to move. When I was put out of Chicago, I called Armon and I called Jonathan. Armon didn't answer. Jonathan did. And that is why I am in Dallas, Texas. Armon was not in any financial situation to help me. He was staying with his friend, King Payne. He did not have his own place. So he was not in any financial position to help me when he was staying with King Payne in California. Okay. All right. And he had issues with his health because half his face was frozen. All right. So no. And then he also lied, said he haven't talked to Tasha K in 2 years. That's a lie because he talked to Tasha K with Larry Reed a couple of months ago before the downfall with Levante. Y'all talked on the three-way. And then you talked with King Payne on there, and then you bragged and say, quote, Wiley, you wasn't on the phone, so you just catch you under these lies. Okay? And so I want to bring this point up. He called me from Paris, meaning that when you call me from Paris, you get the roaming charges and all that. He called me from Paris to tell me not to cover Jason Lee. He said in the video that Wiley said all I talked about himself. I didn't lie. That's what you did. You just talked about you. You said, quote, don't talk about Jason Lee. He ain't relevant. The show ain't gonna be successful. Don't give him no clicks and views. And the only reason why he called me because Jason named my name on Gagging with Jason Lee. At the last season finale, he said, Wiley, this would do for Wiley. Wiley ain't gonna never happen. I should have told Wiley I'd come on the show, do all the promo and not show up. Armon the next day called me on the show. Called me home when he was in Paris. Ring, 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 ring. Wiley, let me tell you something. I know you ain't gonna want to listen to this and hear me. Let me help you. Don't cover Jason Lee. Not helping me with the camera, not teaching me about thumbnails, not teaching me about a live stream, nothing. He told me not to cover Jason Lee because why would you allow Jason Lee to infiltrate the YouTube space? That's what he said. Okay? So we covered Jason Lee. We got clicks and views. That video with Cardi got about 20,000 to us. That's viral. That's big numbers. Armon seeing that impact, he covered that. But he told me not to cover Jason. And he said, I'm not going to talk about Jason. In the phone call, he said, I regret burning Jason Lee's book. But then he talked about the interview and got mad when Cardi went to Jason Lee's show. We exposed it on our show. Armon Pressy mad. Y'all was in the chat. Oh, he ain't mad. You jealous. Armon went live and said Cardi B need a better interview because he was in his feelings that Cardi went to Jason Lee's show and not his. And he said you need a better interview. That the interview is boring. That all Jason Lee talk about is himself. And that's what all Armon talk about is himself. The pot can't call the killer black because guess what? They both black. So that's that. So when he called me from Paris, charged all that, he did that because he wanted to control the Wiley show. No matter how he tried to sell it, that was control. If you truly want to help Wiley, give me some skills on how to hook up the camera. Tell me what streaming service you do. You ain't give me none of that. You telling me not to cover somebody. That ain't no help. That ain't nothing. And then you, in fact, cover Jason Lee. Not once, but twice. Some of your highest views is talking about Jason Lee. The one you say is boring. So I'm hearing that from what he said, and I do not agree because he was trying to dictate what Wiley does, and Wiley said no. And he brought a suggestion to me years ago. He said, can you help me with the show? Not to be a co-host, but just help. He recently said, now I wanted him to be my co-host. Now he said, that's brand new news to me. He never presented for me to be a co-host. And if it did, he would be the leader. I would just be his punching bag. So I knew that wasn't going to work. Because I disagree. Because if I was a co-host, if he'd have called OG a monkey, I'd have checked him right then and there. So that ain't going to work. And if he were to talk about trans women replacing biological women, I'd have checked him then because they ain't replacing nothing. So it wouldn't have worked. It would have been good entertainment, but he wouldn't allow me to check him. His ego wouldn't allow it. Tasha K tried to have a co-host. It didn't work because her ego wouldn't allow it. Storm and Tasha was talking. She overtalked Storm. Told him to pretty much shut up. It lasted for a day. 2 weeks. Didn't last long. So he say, oh, you see, it would have worked. Look at it now. 6 years. Look where you at. Look where I'm at. And I'm comfortable where I am. Comfortable, still working, and we're going to grow to the next level. On our own time, we ain't going to be forced to do it because it ain't your way. I'm going to do it my way under direction of my helpers that love us and tune into our show daily. I'm not going to just rush because you want me to jump. I'm not your man. You tell it to your man. He jump and he tell you how high. I don't do that. So when I saw that, I said, I'm going to address it. Armon keeps saying, I would never do this. You lied because you said that before. You would never do it, and you called. You said you would never deal with Wiley. You would never be unblocked. Then you unblocked Brother Wiley. So you're not keeping up what you say. I've never said that I want you to fail. What I said was, it's just not going to work you trying to be this spiritual guru when you're not living up to spiritual principles. So it's just not going to work. You being this fortune reader, fortune teller, card reader, those are some of your lowest views. Your audience, it will be more challenging for you to rebuild that type of audience because most of the people that view your channel are Christians. They don't believe in card reading. So you will have to work twice as hard to start out with scratch to definitely come out there to build that up. To build up that infrastructure. You're not going to get people to tune into your spiritual channel when you built years of mess. That take years for a rebrand. The same case of point with Black China. We have known her to be a stripper, a clout chaser, giving people punani, and now she want to be a Christian. Everybody ain't going to receive that. It's going to take years, and someone would never receive that. So you just can't announce that you're going to rebrand and expect everybody to get on their knees and pat you on the back of your rebrand when you created your platform on the back of mess. Not spirituality, mess. And you want to do that and start a network and get people to pay money, not to smoke, and you give them some direction. And it is not working. That, in my humble opinion, I feel like that's not a good strategy. You have already started celebrity gossip. You have already started mess. So it's going to be difficult for people to receive you to be their spiritual counselor or your spirit or your psychic reader. It's going to be difficult to get people to receive that. It's going to be really difficult. Honestly, to be honest, it's going to be challenging for people to receive that. And you tried it multiple times and it never got off the ground. And you had to stop doing it on Armon Wiggins show because you were getting so low views, under 1,000 views. That never happened for you. And so you have to do it on your backup channel. And you get the least amount of views with that because they don't receive it. And then when you try to drag celebrities, Nikki blocked you. Because only how that strategy will work, you will have to drag and read celebrities. Because reading the average Joe ain't going to get you clicks and views. But if you put a reading to Wiley, put in the titles, that's clicks and views. If you do a reading on Tasha K, that's clicks and views. If you do a reading on Storm Monroe, that's clicks and views. If you do a reading on Cardi B, Lil Kim, that's clicks and views. But it's not going to work if you just doing a reading to really grow on an average person that the majority of people don't know. So that's what I was coming from. I didn't say you just go fail just to be a failure. I just say that's just not going to work. I don't see it working because you tried it and it didn't work. And you the one that stopped. If it worked, keep it going. What you worried about my advice? But you mad and you put out a narrative that I said that you're going to fail. No, you upset because I exposed your hypocritical ways because you say you stand for Black media and you're all about people giving credit. But then when you're not going to give credit to people you don't get along with, but when DJ Academics did not credit you, you call them so many obese F words and everything. You got mad when the Neighborhood Talk and them doesn't credit you. You get mad when Hollywood Unlocked when they don't properly credit you. So you get in your feelings when you don't get properly credit. That is the message. And you still have done it. And your reason, if I don't get along with you, I don't have to credit. But Milagro don't feel that way. Milagro feel like if you're going to talk about somebody, credit them. And Milagro have always credited me, even though me and her went toe-to-toe in roasted and gagging. But still, if I drop a story or if I'm being discussed, she will always put credit on Brother Wiley. You, sir, and you, sir, you don't do that. So you're not practicing what you preach. That's the point that we're making. That was the point that I was preaching. I'm not changing. That is the point. So you can block me. I can still see everything you post on a full account. So and then I'll have to do that because people gonna send me everything that you post. We never followed each other like that. I've never followed Instagram. You know, you watch my stories when I post on my website. You see these things. You watch when Dream Doll reposted me. You were the first one to see it. So we are making impact with limited resources. And if you truly want to help Wiley, the Cash App is on the screen. Do what Larry Reid did and give money. If you truly want to help, you and Neek, all this good advice that y'all truly want to help, put your money where your mouth is. Y'all truly want to help us. Y'all want to help. And Ron said, Neek, he ain't going to leave that. He got a Cash App. You want to help? That's the help that I need. Love not in words. Put some money on it. Till then, keep that advice. I ain't receiving it. Okay? We fine over here. So Armon is upset because we addressed him. And he's upset that we kept it real. He's upset about that. He doesn't like that a cockeyed, bipolar man can accumulate and talk about it and everybody, and I can sway public opinion. He don't like that because he feel I got white teeth, I got Gucci shoes, I got expensive clothes, I live in a high rise, I was on TV, I was on bingo, my friends are fly, I can sing, I can write. How dare you talk about me? And like I was saying to my producer, I said, listen, Armon was so upset because Coffee City, shout out to Coffee City, a blogger of one of my colleagues in YouTube. She started out in the YouTube streets. She started out delivering content. And when she was delivering the content, she would talk about YouTubers, right? She would talk about me, everybody, right? But she zoned in because she wanted to know what was going on with me and Armon. And she started to listen to his station head show. And she realized that, okay, Wiley is not talking about, this is a mutual beef. And Armon said on station head, this is not mutual. It is a mutual beef. And so a mutual disagreement, beef, whatever you call it. So what Coffee City would do, she would post all the station head shows about him calling me a psycho, about him talking about my mom, family. He threw out allegations. He said all this and that. And I come back, she posts what I say, and she would laugh at what I say. Oh, Wiley's so funny. And she would criticize Armon. And Armon brought her to the show. And she said, and Armon said, I don't understand. You give him a pass because how he looked. Because he the underdog. You don't really care about it. I don't understand you criticizing me. And then they start trashing it. Then Armon Wiggins started to trash Coffee City, said that she's an African, then start using derogatory words to describe that black woman, call us only black, this and that. And then he said, I'll take y'all your channel for playing my station head content, to threaten her channel because she was playing the station head content. All because she was laughing at the Wiley Show, supporting Wiley. He got upset about that. Her and Sean Davy Way was the same thing, got up mad because she was Team Wiley. And they tried to scold her for supporting Wiley. These are people that got hundreds of thousands of subscribers. Armon made close to $1 million. His monthly income is 4,000 to 5,000 times more than mine. And he's upset and intimidated by people showing Wiley love. And he want Wiley to stay silent. He want Wiley not to say anything. He don't want Wiley to say nothing. Wiley just sit in a corner and don't say a word. Then he say, Wiley, wait until I go live. When the last time we waited for you to go live to do some content, sir? You ain't go live today. You ain't go live yesterday. You ain't go live this and that. We've been going live nonstop. We do not wait for you to go live to do content. We used to, but that ain't happened in a couple of years, baby. We do our own content. Okay? We do our own story. You ain't covering King Jives. You ain't covering him at all. So we have our own topics that we cover over here. You don't talk about Dream Doll. We talk about Dream, and where's we post it? Do you talk about her? No, you don't. So you can't sit here with that narrative because it ain't sticking. You only responding to Wiley on Station Head because you know the 100 and some thousand people ain't over on Station Head. Only people that is on Station Head is really people that go over there and download. So you average maybe about 100 people on Station Head. We had about 100. We got the same amount of numbers on Station Head that listen to you live. But when you go live on YouTube, you have 3,000 to 4,000 people listen live. So you're not going to talk about me on YouTube. You're a coward because if you're really about that life, talk about me on YouTube. You talk about me on Station Head. So don't get mad that I take what you say on Station Head and bring it to the masses. So just because you don't talk to me on YouTube, I still got a name and I'm still relevant. I can guarantee you in your analytics, my name, your subscribers, because on YouTube, it tell you what your subscribers watch, the channels, similar channels they watch. I can guarantee you the Wiley Show is on there because on my list is Tasha, Armon, Lovely T, and some other. Those are the top 3. Tasha's, Armon, Lovely T. Meaning that we share the same demographic. I'm sharing it with limited resources. I don't have big sponsors, any of that. I don't have these big networks, but of all the skill set that I've had accumulated, we are going toe to toe with the big dogs, and they don't like it. They don't like it. They didn't like it, or mine didn't like it, that Milagro Grabs came on the Wiley Show. Didn't like it. Milagro came on, brought her audience, and stayed on for 2 hours because she's not intimidated by Wiley. Armon, can you say the same? You used to come over at the Wiley Show. You stopped because you thought you could just insult me, and we removed you and told you to call in, and you ain't been the same ever since. Because you thought it was okay to just insult Wiley. And I put my foot down and say, player, hold on, you out of order. You better go on your platform and do all that, but you ain't going to do it in my house because I can't do it on yours. Okay? So if we had true financial givers that could give, that could fly us to California and pay for our hotel flight, we'd be there. Man, if somebody give right now good donations to get us to California, we'll be right there with a press pass. The first, second row, they're covering the trial. All it takes is 2, 3, 4 good givers. Don't worry about it. I want Wiley to go. That will be some good clicks and views. But I'm not going to go out my way to break my back to get there. If I ain't got it, I ain't going. And I guarantee you'll probably not join that courtroom because I'm there. You'll probably go disappear. I'm going to be right there. I ain't trying to wear no expensive clothes. I show up with a black polo shirt and gym shoes or dress shoes. What's up? Show that and go there. But I'm not going to rush to try to keep up with the Joneses, with people with larger incomes. I stay in my lane. I'm not going in debt trying to keep up with people with larger revenue streams. That's just bad business. Excuse me. So, yes. So I had to really, really address that. All right. Now, we're going to get to our last subject. We're going to let me drop the link if anybody want to come on. Give me a second. Uh, if anybody want to come on, I'll drop the link just in case you want to come on really quickly. We will be having a phone line. I just put the phone up to the mic if anybody call in, but give me a second here. I'm going to drop the link in here. All right. So I'll drop the link in here. So also, we're going to get to our last story here because I know it's late. But hey, I know it's late. And we talked about him. Oh, I didn't even have his picture up here. Give me a second. Let me see if I can find it. Because we talked about him last night. Okay. We had to talk about him without his picture because I had to accidentally delete Kai's picture. So Kai is losing millions of dollars, you guys. Kai is a streamer on Twitch, and he is all set to lose millions. But it's something that I want to bring up about Brother Kai. He is one of the leading streamers on Twitch. And I want to bring up what he made. Give me a second. Let me see. Do I have it saved here? Okay. So according to these reports, they said Twitch reportedly made 10 to 15 million when the Haitian gamer Kai streamed every day of the month of February. He reportedly took home around $2 million. But Twitch made between 10 to 15 million dollars. Okay. And they said a report that Kai was recently banned from Twitch. Twitch rival Kick sent special gift to top streamer Kai. After unboxing the gift on Twitch, he got banned. They said Twitch reportedly made 10 to 15 million. Gamer Kai streamed every day of the month of February. He reportedly took home around $2 million. So that is going on. So if I've heard that he's been offered offers with Rumble to do streaming over there. Rumble have offered a deal, exclusive deal. They just gave an exclusive deal to DJ Academics. So they want to do a deal where he's there 7 days a week. Most of them, the max is 5 days. They want deal. And I heard through the breakdown that he's in early talks, word on the curve with Rumble. All right. So that's going to be a game changer because Kai is going to bring so much traffic to the Rumble site. And it's going to bring that younger demographic. I'm sorry, because they want more Black creators because the people that own Rumble is conservative white folks and they love catering towards Black men. And if you get the youth, like 18 and up, that's a demographic, and they bring all that traffic on there, that'd be awesome. So we will see if that will go through. But it is kind of sad. Like they made 10 to 15 million. That's even though 2 million ain't no chump change, but they made 10 to 15 million. You know what I'm saying? Can you imagine if he would have had that 30-day stream with on his own website and made that, he would have kept majority of that and just paid taxes on it? Oh my God. So yeah. So thank y'all so very much for tuning in. I'm going to drop the link in here. I'm going to post the number on the screen here. If you all want to come on, I know it's late because we don't necessarily always have to be callers or anything. We just do that for the viewers if the viewers want to give their opinion. This is not like based always on a call-in show, but we do this uh, to, for the viewers that are at home and you want to call in, give your thoughts. And if not, I understand, because like I said, it is late. It's 12:31 a.m. We've been on here broadcast for 3 hours and 49 minutes. We do want to say thank you to all of the moderators for showing their massive support. Thank you to our latest new moderator, Miss Winters, for her support and showing love. So we thank her so very much for that way. But thank you so very much. We see it all the time. Thank you to, I see moderator coming in, proud of me for being in the chat. Thank you to the moderators. I see Dave. Thank you for being a member. Also, I see Aaliyah TV. Thank you, sister. I met her. Beautiful sister. Also, thank another moderator, Opinionated Side of Shade, for her awesome support working over there to the Wiley Show. Thank you so very much for your massive support. Yes, thank you. And you said, quote, people are going to learn to stop trying to dictate your platform. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I love that so very much for that major support. So thank you all for your major support. Also, we're going to make a quick announcement really quickly. If you want to come to Vegas to meet us, you can RSVP right now. And we're doing it October 6th to the 9th, 2023. Public place. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have fun. We're doing a lot. That's October 6th to the 9th, 2023. We come through. We are greatly excited about almost quite a few of that. Like, I think of the last time we checked, about 10 or 12 people RSVP for that. So that's awesome. Thank you all so very much for the love and for the massive support, for coming through. I see y'all in the chat showing love. Thank you to Danielle. Thank you saying that as well. Thank you for your massive support for doing it. And like I said, if you're not a member, we will post the link on the community wall. Thank you. I know y'all gonna drag me in the comments, but please, if you want your comment to be seen, do not use profanity. If you want your comment to be seen, do not use profanity. Thank you, Latavia. Thank you, Jay. Latavia J, Las Vegas, October 6th to 9th. Thank you. Do not use profanity. If you want your comments to be seen, do not use profanity. If you have any, go to RSVP, Wiley Show Productions at gmail.com. Email us if you want to come. But yeah, also, if you want to contribute to the Wiley Show, send a check or money order, you can always do it. Send it to P.O. Box 701122.